Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door, loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud, heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is episode 926. I'm sorry, 926 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say this morning or this afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome back, Michael Motorcycle. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, my friend, I am doing very, very, very well. I'm just so happy to be here.
Do me a big favor. Just turn your mic down just a hair. It's just a little overbearing, but it's not much of a fit. There you go. That's a lot better.
Right here. All right.
It's a lot better. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you be. Welcome back to the show. I do want to say good morning to Steelers Road Warrior 96924 out on the West Coast. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. Cody says, yo, what up, Brian? We out here setting up this drilling rig in 85-degree weather. That sounds wonderful, man. It does. I'm happy for you. I truly am happy for you, Cody. Enjoy it, man.
I had snow flurries on my way home from work today.
That sounds about right. Good morning. Also, I want to say what's up to the GOAT. Tyrone is on the board. He says JPJ is the GOAT. Follows it up by saying Dean officially signed. Press conference just ended. That did just happen. Also, Tortilla says Omar is the GOAT. People just a week and a half ago kind of wondering what to think of Omar Khan. Just lately, a lot of people were singing his praises. We're going to get into that and so much more today. Cody follows that up saying Khan is trash. Yinzer Joe, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the terrible board. And Cody says, not F this rig. He's ready for the weekend, it looks like. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Only 41 days left to the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A lot of things going on as we wrap up Free Agent Frenzy Week, Mike. This is Free Agent Friday, if you will. And I got to be honest with you. You know, we were saying yesterday before I had to take off. We were saying that this is probably going to be slow the rest of the week, with the exception of taking care of some in-house business. We took care of some in-house business. We also did a little bit more a familiar face coming back to Pittsburgh, guys. We're going to get into that and so much more today going on. A lot to get into, Mike, as this Free Agent Friday finally comes to here we are. We're here, and this means next week we start draft. We're gonna get into the draft entirely. We're gonna stay on that and get ready because in 41 days, right here in Pittsburgh, the draft is gonna be here, Mike. So much to get into, so much to go over. Trying to figure out what the Steelers are gonna do in the first round. It's gonna be interesting, Mike.
It's gonna be very, very interesting. Especially with the draft coming up, like you said, and what we're going to do in the first round. The way things are shaping up right now, it's a best player available type situation. Maybe in the first round, offensive lineman in the first round. It's all over the place. Just as long as it is not center and a quarterback, I will probably be happy with any pick that they have in the first round. If it's not those two positions, we're golden.
It sure seems to me, Mike, that I'm looking at things. And again, if they don't figure out this offensive guard, this left guard situation sometime in the next month here, I think you might be onto something as far as the offensive line goes, Mike. Maybe they might. Of course, your boy up in Penn State's looking really good. The offensive guard would certainly follow suit.
Yeah.
To what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been doing, the way they've been drafting over the past few years, would not surprise me. Maybe guard in the first round and get that tough wide receiver in the second round is something where I'm thinking right now. But again, guys, as yesterday, we took off and we wasn't really knowing what to expect externally. We knew we had a lot to take care of internally, but then we make another addition yesterday. So you know what? It's all up in the air. Who knows what we're gonna do? It's gonna be fun, guys. No matter what you guys say about it, it really seems like we're improving, Mike. This football team's improving. The pieces that we are replacing all seem to be improvements, which would make you think that this is going to be a pretty decent season, which I do think it's going to be a decent season. But there are some things, Mike, that I do want to get into just after you answer that. I'm just going to put it out there real quick. Last year, this time, boy, were we excited about Jalen Ramsey. Last year, this time, boy, were we excited about Darius Slay. Last year, at this time, the Steelers believed that they had a record-setting defense, a defense that would do things that no defense has ever done before. So before we get too crazy with this, Mike, we do have to step back, zoom out a little bit, take a look at this, and see what's really going on. But I do think this is going to be an improved season from last year.
I think so too. But yeah, like anytime you get those shiny new toys, you want to think optimistically. You want to think these guys were the right signings. This coaching staff is going to put them in the right spot. And right now, I'm going to ride that high because my God, this is what sports is meant to be. Sports is meant to be fun. So why not have fun with the new key acquisitions that we're getting? Why not, in your head, have a little fun and go, oh yeah, this guy here, this guy there. We're going to put him here, him there. The defense can do this, that, and the third, and it's going to be great and awesome. Fuck it. I like sports. I watch sports to be entertained. So I'm riding that high wave. But yes, you are right. Once you put pen to paper and you put down that depth chart, it looks great, man. But what's it going to look like out on the field? That's the key part right there. How are those players going to be out on the field? Because you can look great from one year, coming back the next. Your body is being put through a trauma every week for 18 weeks. How is that body going to respond the following year? And we saw some guys, when we got them in free agency, they had a really good year before, and they came here and then nothing, and then they left and they did nothing else. We kind of caught them at the end of their career. Hopefully that's not going to be the case now with these signings. I don't think it will be. Yeah, some of them might say they're old, but 27, 28. Still got prime years left, and that's where we have their contracts going for like Jamal Dean and Pittman Jr. I think we're going to be okay. I think these signings are going to be panning out. I think the vast majority of the signings that we had are going to pan out. I'm really excited with this crop of free agents in trade targets.
And again, this has been going on for a couple of years now. Again, a couple of years ago, we were excited after the Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky experiment that we did land Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both in the same offseason. And that was 2 off seasons ago. And Mike, we've still been pretty much in the same place as this process has been going on. So again, hopefully some of these moves will help improve the team. And again, I think everything that we did so far is certainly an improvement, Mike. And we do have the draft still coming up here in 41 days. So again, still opportunities to continue to make things better. A lot to get into, Mike. But without further ado, let's get this information out because, again, This is the big stuff. Let's talk about, Mike, the big addition yesterday. This was supposed to be a couple days ago. People kept saying, did this happen? Did this happen? Is this guy coming? And we were like, no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But yesterday, Mike, the trigger was pulled. Jaquan Brisker is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, Mike, the former Gateway High School, City League school star right here in Pittsburgh, and then also went on to play at Penn State, Mike, coming in on a one-year deal. To me, listen, I like it. I like this move just as much as anybody else. But at the end of the day, are we getting safety heavy now? Where this was a team full of tight ends last year. How many safeties can this team possibly hold? Mike, are the Duggars and the Chucky Clarks and guys like this? Is it just a matter of time now before they're gone?
I think it's a matter of time before they're gone. But don't be surprised if we draft a safety maybe and sign another one, that because you know how injuries happen in our secondary for some odd reason, especially the safety room. No matter who the safeties are, ever since Omar Khan and Weedle took over, no matter who the safeties are, they always get hurt. But they always find a way to find someone that can fill in for 3 games that you think, oh my God, this guy's going to be a badass. So it's just, maybe it is good we treat them like the tight ends and load up, have 45 safeties.
You know what? That's true, because Brisker and both of the new safeties we brought over have had their share of injury issues. So maybe we bring in enough, we'll be okay, because we can just recycle out. The way we did last year, I mean, come on, the way safeties kept going down and we kept bringing people in. Duggar came in, Chucky Clark stepped up. It's always good to have extra bodies back there.
And I really like this signing too, because he has positional flexibility as a safety. He can play down in the box, your traditional strong safety, and he can play free safety as well. I think he's a better strong safety than free safety, but at least when it comes to like coverage, he's not the best cover guy, but he's a thumper. When he plays zone, he knows how to read the zone. He knows how to make splash plays. He has good hands. He has way better hands than Joey Porter Jr. But no, I really like this pick. I liked him when he was coming out of Penn State. I was hoping he would fall to the Steelers, but I think the Bears picked him up really high in the second round. I was really excited to get this pick in. And now I think this allows Jalen Ramsey to do a whole lot of things in that secondary.
Absolutely, Mike. And again, that does, it really frees him up, because now he's not, you're not forced to stick him at a certain place and keep him there. If you have other people do these things, he could flow freely. And I think that's big. I do want to say right off the top, thank you to Tortilla for the super chat, my man. He says, putting safety in the box like Trojan. I like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
5.5 million, as Mark Malone is saying, 1 year. This is a good deal. A lot of things went down yesterday. Let's get into a couple of these other names, Mike, and we will proceed. Cody, I do want to say thank you to Cody as well, also on the super chat. He says way better hands than JPJ. And then I'm sure Tyrone is getting ready to jump at Cody here any second, because not only did he say it, it's in big highlighted.
I know
a box on the screen. So
there we go.
There's Ty.
I'll put Ty up there too.
You got to, man.
Got to.
Also, yesterday, Mike, Calvin Austin III is gone. He goes to the New York Giants. Mike, Calvin Austin III goes to the Giants on a 1-year deal, $4.5 million. The Giants seem to be doing a lot of work this offseason. It's going to be interesting to see what they get going up there, Mike. Bringing in a new coach, new players, go on top of some of the players that they had been building on the past couple of years. Giants should be an interesting team to watch. Also, Mike, Connor Heyward, Meatwad is gone. That's right. Connor Heyward is gone. He goes to Las Vegas on a 2-year, $5.5 million. Also, Mike, who else? Somebody else left as well. Who am I leaving out here?
Those are the only 2 that I knew.
Oh, I found it. Miles Killebrew.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
gone.
That's right. Yeah, it became official.
He became official, Mike. He did have his house up for sale about a month ago, and he moved to Tampa Bay. If that wasn't a tell, I don't know what is. So, Mike, as of yesterday, those 3 officially gone. Meatwad, Calvin Austin III, Miles Killebrew, and we gained Jaquan Brisker yesterday. Between the last time we were here and today, Mike, your thoughts on those 4 players moving?
Meatwad, seeing Meatwad go, it kind of stings, because I was starting to like the little guy.
I was too.
He's starting to become scrappy. He was no longer. I didn't see him as the mascot that we brought in to keep just keep Camo around. Like he was becoming I'm not very productive, but anytime you put him out there, he was being productive, getting first downs, touchdowns, making special teams plays. So it's kind of kind of rough seeing him go a little bit, but you know what? You can find someone like that in draft and free agency. The one that stung the most to me was CA3. I think he was underutilized here, being used out of position, being used to be. He's a number 3, number 4 receiver. He's being asked to do number 2, number 1 stuff. I think that loss stings a little bit, but again, I think you can replace him with someone in the draft and free agency to do free agency as well. But I like Calvin Austin. I thought he was a good player, just used out of position because we didn't have enough talent in that receiver room. Now we have the receiving talent around, and he's gone elsewhere. But hey, Harbaugh finally got Calvin Austin III. Remember,
I was going to say that.
Yep, there was 3 players from that draft that the Harbaugh wanted that got drafted by other teams. They are all now on the Giants. He's collecting them like infinity stones or some shit.
Sounds like he's finally getting his way, Mike. Maybe things will work out up in there for the Giants.
Good pick up for them. And the Miles Killebrew one, it sucks, but he's getting up there in age as well, so it was time to move on from him. Hopefully he can have one last hurrah down there, but
1 year. He's on a 1-year deal down in Tampa. The answer, Cody, right off the top. Calvin Austin III went to the Giants. So that all went down yesterday, Mike. Things are taking shape. Players are moving in. Players are moving out. Again, still in need of an offense. A left guard, of course. Mike, still need more depth at wide receiver. Still a lot of question about the inside linebacker room. But besides for that, there's been a lot of work done in the offseason, in free agency so far. So let's see how the new coaching staff and this crop of players can put things together, as well as what's coming next month, Mike. After 41 days from right now, the NFL draft will be kicking off right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And again, Mike, so much still to go down in this offseason. As we expected, nobody is surprised by all the action this offseason. This is it is what it is. And again, this is probably one of the most important off seasons maybe in my life for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to see how that plays out and so much more. Finish up any thoughts, Mike? We're going to get to the board bright and early because I don't want to get too far behind on anything today. Final thoughts on those?
You know what? I like the guys. I like the guy we brought in yesterday, and I'm okay losing with the guys that we had. I kind of wish we would have kept CA3, but I understand the move. So let's get to the board. I'm excited.
Let's get to the board. I'm going to step right over the dog shit. Nah, just kidding. Woof, woof. What's up to Tater Tart? All the way from across the pond, from Northern Ireland, the resident Cleveland Browns fan in the house. Tater Tart, if anything, you're reliable. You show up. So you know what? That's more than I can say for other people. So you know what? Welcome, Tater Tart, to the show. Always great to. Sometimes great. Every once in a while. I think once it was great to see you. So welcome to the show, Tater Tart. As always, John says Steeler freak. John, what's up, brother? He says derpy 50-yard dash slow. John yesterday made a comment. He said I had to go to my proctologist, but joke's on John because I've been doing the do-it-yourself home version of my colon test lately, John, and it has been going very well. I just want to let you know. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says this Jaquan Brisker. That's right, baby. That is that's a lot of people wanted him. I know that a lot of people, Mike. I necessarily wasn't huge on Brisker, but now that we got him, I'm very excited about it. And again, tandeming him up with another new face, I'm pretty excited about that as well. And one thing that I do want to talk about, Mike, the inside linebackers in the defensive line haven't changed at all.
Yeah.
The defensive line and the inside linebackers have basically stayed the exact same.
Yeah.
Now, if we wonder how we improved, we have to think back to some of the running games that the running attacks that we went against last year and gave up big. How much does replacing a couple safeties and a cornerback affect stopping the running game? That's affect it to a point where you don't let up 250 yards to Buffalo on your home turf, so on and so forth throughout the season. Yes, they were up, they were down. There was games, Mike, where they looked great against Miami, who's coming in with a really good running game last year, and we stopped them in their tracks. So there was times that we did step up and do what we got to do. But, Mike, are we going to make moves in them inside 5 positions that's going to change the way that we stop the run at all? Or is this something that we just have to wait to see what Patrick Graham and company draws up and see if it just plays out better because it's a new scheme and a new way of doing things?
I think it's going to be the latter right there. Like it's going to be a scheme change because right now they haven't done anything unless they surprise us. But I haven't heard any rumblings. I haven't seen anything from anywhere that were looking at linebackers in free agency, looking at D linemen. So maybe in the draft, they're going to take a look to beef up the line again and roll with the linebackers that they have, thinking that, hey, we have more guys up front, better players up front, a different scheme up front that's going to allow the linebackers to roam free and do what they need to do. That might be their thought process. Because personally, I would be looking for at least a D lineman right now in free agency, unless they're putting a lot of hope in Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black taking huge steps forward.
Let's continue on the board. A lot to say today, a lot to get into, guys. I don't want to miss anybody. I want to make up for lost time. Let me get to Squeege on the board. He says, fellas, what's up, Squeege? Always great to see you, brother. Tortilla, I'm sorry, Tortilla says, someone come get their chinchilla or their chihuahua. I'm sorry, not their chinchilla, their chihuahua. Of course, the barking over here by the little tater tart going on. Cody says, some Yorkie is barking. I can hear it. Yinzer Joe said, I would have, but stepped in this dog shit. Bart Malone, word on the street is that Brisker wanted to come to the Berg as soon as he heard Tomlin was gone. Also, that being interesting enough to say, also, we find out that Kenneth Gainwell didn't want to be a Steeler last year, guys. He wanted to go to Tampa Bay, where he ended out this year as of the last week or so. Mike, Kenneth Gainwell went to Tampa Bay. This is apparently where he wanted to go from the onset, was not interested in being a Steeler.
Huh, interesting. But it turned out to be a great career move for him. So probably got him some more money.
Absolutely. Let's go to Mark Malone, where he says this. He follows it up by saying Tomlin tainted them. Cody Silva says, about time someone said it. Squeege said Brisker addition is great, but Dean and Brisker are both very injury prone. These will be incredible signings if they stay healthy. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. And maybe the way they packaged it all together and they brought them both in, Mike, maybe that is a godsend. And you know what I mean? Because, again, what if you bring one guy in, you're super excited, and he gets hurt, and then, so again, you bring both of these guys in, they could kind of do the way they did last year. They had injuries. Deshaun Elliott went out. They had people to jump in, fill in for him. So just keeping that secondary room, that safety room, in the secondary full is, that's not a bad idea, Mike.
And probably even, drafting another safety and another corner too, to have more depth behind Brisker at safety if he gets injured, and more depth behind on Dean at corner if he gets banged up. Get some younger guys in there. If they want to, like the way they can draft, man, they have a lot of flexibility, so they can go wide receiver, O-line, D-line, corner, safety, all within their first 5 picks. And if they hit right, man, they can be seeing a lot of playing time, especially in the secondary. If some of those guys get dinged up and you have high quality young backups in there, that could be a way to go.
I do want to say real quick, Corey, I want to say welcome to the show. He came in the door and asked, Mike, if CA3 really did go, he was going to the Giants. It is true. Corey, a couple things did happen yesterday. If you were just walking in the door, Calvin Austin III on his way to the Giants on a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. Also, Connor Heyward, Meatwad, on his way to the Raiders on a 2-year, $5.5, and Miles Killebrew signing a 1-year deal with the Buccaneers. Those 3 gentlemen left the Steelers officially yesterday, and we did in fact bring in Jaquan Brisker. If you were just joining us, let's get back on the board here, Mike. A lot going on. I don't want to miss a thing today. It's Friday. It's the end of free agent frenzy week, Mike, and also big news today as well. We're going to find out about Jalen Ramsey today by 4:00 p.m. They have to get his stuff figured out today by 4:00, and we'll know entirely what the deal is, Mike, because, again, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to go on with Ramsey. So that also is today at 4:00. We'll be keeping our ear on that. Go ahead real quick, and we're getting back on the board.
No. Keep going. I was just perking up, man. That's very interesting. I can't see what happens there.
Absolutely. Best secondary in the game. You know what? I missed somebody. What am I doing?
I don't know. You're at you miss a day and now you're out of Out of practice.
I have to go right here to Echelon Films. Echelon Films, how you doing, man? Welcome back to the show. Echelon says this: if this defense isn't top 5 after the draft, we have serious problems, and it includes the edge rushers. Tyrone says best secondary in the game. Tater Tard barks out top 5. Cody says sounds like Tyrone every time we sign somebody. Steeler Freak, all fan bases overhyped the offseason. Absolutely. We're going to get into the grades, guys, on how teams graded this week in the free agent frenzy, if you will. We've coined that at the beginning of the week. Mike, we're going to talk about the grades of all the teams, how they did. I think you're going to be happy with our Steelers. Cody says this. You know what? I apologize. I'm going to scoot up a little bit more right here to where Tyrone says Cody be hating. Also, Steeler Freak John says this: the Steelers currently have less than 1% chance to win the Super Bowl. So you're saying they have a chance? Tater Tard, Cleveland has the best. Cleveland has the best nothing. This is a problem with somebody from another country that is a football fan of the NFL, because you truly don't have an idea of what you're talking about. Yes, they do have a really good defense. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying the overall love for the Browns is just it's mind-blowing. But that's what makes Tater Tard special.
A lot of things make him special.
Tortilla says, I'm going to be excited over good signings for a good value. When we signed Thornhill, I was not excited. Thornhill is another name. Like, again, all these people that we had in safety last year that didn't allow the safety position to fail, because there was always somebody back there to step up when somebody fell. And I think we're going to be in that same position. So you got to like that. You got to like the depth.
Yeah. I think the talent is much better than what we had last year.
The talent we had last year was much better than the talent we had.
I know, right?
So let's go to Tyrone. He says, not anymore. Lost your DC. You're cooked. That's going to Cleveland. They lost a lot coaching-wise, so it's going to be very interesting how things go over there in Shittown. Tortilla says this: yeah, I still think we take a safety day too. Cody says we need some speed back there. A bunch of slow-ass mofos. Squeege says, what's going on with Duggar? I'd rather have him than draft a safety. We'd be set at the depth and could use the pick elsewhere and snag a decent safety late. You know what? That's a good question. As we said earlier, I mean, the room is getting full. So I just don't know how many they're going to keep at the end of the day. Duggar could make the cut. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's going to. But bringing in a couple safeties this week, and, pretty talented safeties, it kind of puts Duggar's job at jeopardy, you would think, with the exception of possibly keeping him around as a depth piece if they could do it cheap, maybe. But again, Mike, we still don't know the word on Duggar, as players have been leaving now for this week. Sia Malu, Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Killebrew, Connor Heyward, Calvin Austin III. So a lot of names that people had questions about early on, Mike. We're finding out what's going on, who's leaving, who's staying. But I do want to make this comment, Mike. And we did talk about Kenneth Gainwell. He didn't want to come to Pittsburgh. He apparently wanted to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer all along. So we replaced him. We replaced him with Rico Dowdle. Now, Rico Dowdle, if anybody isn't aware of this, let's take a quick look, Mike, at the numbers for comparing Rico Dowdle, some of the numbers, to Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III. Mike, Rico Dowdle had more rushing yards and more touchdowns last year, and the same amount of yards per carry as Kenneth Walker III. Kenneth Walker III is getting $45 million. Rico Dowdle, $12.25 million. Mike, did we make the right move on that? $45 million to a guy that had less yards, less touchdowns, and the same amount of yards per carry as the guy we got, and we bring him in for $12 million. Kenneth Walker is getting paid $45 million elsewhere.
Yeah, I think we made the right move there. Whenever you can get better production for less money.
And one had a great team around him, and the other guy not so much. So if you say, one guy's running behind a team that's one of the worst in the league, and the other guy was, had the Seattle Seahawks. So again, you got to look at the numbers and say, this guy actually outperformed that guy, and we're getting for just a fraction of what that would cost. So very, very excited, Mike, about the addition to Rico. Good luck to Kenneth Gainwell in Tampa Bay. Hope things go well, as they are another team, Mike. Tampa Bay, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants, all three teams that made a lot of moves this offseason. So if you're interested to see teams that made a lot of moves, faces moving, names moving, Those three teams, the Giants, the Raiders, and Tampa Bay, Mike, it's going to be interesting to see those three teams this season, just on how that plays out after all the moves.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's the season can't get here soon enough now. Okay, can we hurry up and go?
I know.
It needs to get here now. Like all these moves that are happening, fast forward to the draft, and let's get in training camp.
Let's go to Cody. Cody says this, the year before that, we lost all of our middle linebackers. Tyrone says, day 3, I hope now I like O-line, wide receiver, defensive tackle, linebacker. John says this, Steeler Freak, many of Tomlin's players on the team should assume their days are numbered. Speaking of which, Mike, let's talk about the draft class of 22. The draft class of 22, now after Calvin Austin III is gone, Mike, that is everybody from the last draft class of Kevin Colbert, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody from that draft class that was featured Kenny Pickett, Connor Heyward, Calvin Austin III, and more, Mark Robinson, all the way down the list. Every single player from that 2022 team, 2022 draft, which again, guys, it's only 2026.
Yeah.
Gone. No extensions, no nothing. Gone.
The only player remaining, he was not drafted. He was undrafted. Jaylen Warren.
Yes.
Like outside of the George Pickens pick and Jaylen Warren signed as an undrafted rookie free agent, that draft class was like a bust.
Like
CA3, he showed a lot of promise. And
you know what? I've never
when used correctly, good. But when you think about it, my God, that was a very, very bad draft class. And you probably marry it with the draft class before it. 2 terrible draft classes in a row. This is how you end up not winning a playoff game. This is how you not, or how you struggle to win divisions and win games, by having bad draft classes like that set your franchise back for years. Maybe if you have like 1 or 2 guys hit out of that draft class, you're like, okay, we can move on. We have building blocks in place to go with. Nothing like that there. Because real quick, 1992, we miss on Troy Edwards, but later in the draft, we get Joey Porter and Aaron Smith. 2 foundational pieces, 2 of the best players in Steelers history. You're okay. You got building blocks. There was nothing like that in this draft class.
Let's go on to Tortilla with the super chat. I want to say thank you, sir. It's certainly going to go right into the show. We appreciate that. And also, Cody, a couple messages ahead. Let's jump to Yinzer Joe that says this. Now that we have Savage and Brisker, is Ramsey a trade candidate, or do they use him in slot or nickel packages? I'm thinking they package him. They put him in places that they can allow him to kind of do what he does and make the plays that he's good at making. But again, 4 o'clock today, we will know. Today, by 4 o'clock, we should know what is going down with Jalen Ramsey. So keep your eyes open, guys. If it doesn't have to happen through the course of the show, Mike will certainly make the announcement if he does see it going across the line. So keep your eyes open, guys. We may. I think he stays. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Mike, I think we kind of have a lot of good things going to where we can now use him in a way that he can be really effective.
Oh, yeah. He can play inside corner. He can play the big nickel position. You can rotate him back into strong safety, free safety. You can move him all around the defense from play to play, where the offense isn't going to know where he's going to line up, to where they have to not only identify their key reads, but okay, what's Jalen doing on this play? Where's he going in this formation? I would do everything I can to keep him. I would not listen to suitors unless they're going to knock my socks off. But you can do so much on the back end with him, and he is, with 1 season here already, you can see he's the vocal leader of that defense. You need that guy. You need someone like him who's fiery back there. No one else is like him on this team. I keep this guy. He hits like a fucking linebacker. And he's a goddamn cornerback. Keep this guy on my team.
And I also think, Mike, they just, I think that he's going to be a big part of this defense, actually. Let's go ahead on the board to Mark Malone. He says this, it's a hell of a signing, $5.5 million. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Yinzer Joe, Tyrone, Mark Malone. I think the plan was to play Ramsey in the slot all along. That's what I'm saying. I think he could be so effective now that he's not going to be tied down to one particular spot, Mike. He's not at one corner permanently. He's not a safety spot permanently. He's not at the nickel permanently. They could continue to use him in different ways, and if creative enough, can be very, very disruptive. You've seen just some of the plays, Mike, that he was able to make last year, early in the season especially, grabbing the ball off of a guy that was going down on the sideline. He ran it in for a touchdown. He then ended up getting called back because the guy's foot was on the out of bounds line. There were so many things, little things throughout the course of the season that you've seen. A big tackle that broke up a pass in the Jets game to end that game allowed us to win. So he does bring a lot with him, Mike. And as I said, if he's not clamped down somewhere and he's able to kind of do the Troy Polamalu thing, do the Jalen Ramsey thing, that's where I think he really could become valuable. For this reason, Mike, I don't think he goes anywhere. This will be decided today by 4 o'clock. So keep your eye on that if it doesn't happen throughout the course of this show.
Yeah, pay him the roster bonus. Keep him here. God damn it.
Let's go to Squeege. Squeege says this: so glad we got rid of Connor Heyward. Tomlin was straight up having family dinners as a football team. At one point, there was 4 sets of brothers on that football team. Tomlin was big on that for sure. I know a lot of Pittsburgh people like it as well, but it did happen a lot lately compared to in the past, I'd have to say. Let's go to Steeler Freak John. Says JPJ has better hands than DK. Let's go to Mark Malone. Sweden Moncrief have better hands than both of those two. Squeege says this. He says, like, Taylor had the worst hands. No one complained. Well, we did complain. I actually complained the whole time.
Me too. I loved shoeless Ike Taylor. Man, he could not catch.
I agree. I think that I loved him at the shutdown, but at the end of the day, Mike, I complained constantly. Catch the ball. Why can't this guy catch? He has nubs. It went on for years, but I could agree with you that we all liked Ike. Cody says, so pretty much all of our special teams.
We still got Carson Bruner.
We do. We lost a lot though when you mentioned, when you think of it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor Heyward, Miles Killebrew, Danny Smith. So that's a good point, Cody. Interesting thought. Tortilla says James Pierre-Paul has better hands. Joe says, what's up with Ty? I'm all good, dude. Tyrone says we officially signed Rico. I like the Rico Dowdle deal, Mike, again, only on a 12.25 million, where Kenneth Walker is getting 45 million in his move, Mike. Again, the MVP of the Super Bowl. We wanted, yes, but we're getting the same results and paying just a fraction with Dowdle. Again, Mike, for Carolina, he had more rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and the same amount of yards per carry as Kenneth Walker III. So that's encouraging to know. Let's go to Somber. He says now he's blocking for Genty. Will be easy access to strippers. He'll be fine. He'll be fine down there. See a little meat wad rolling into the stripper place, Mike.
Oh God! And he's not getting that big money, so you got to go to the discount strip joints.
Right.
Maybe he'll hang out with Steeler Freak.
He could maybe go and see Izzy a Man. Remember Izzy a Man? She or he or whatever it is might be stripping there. So who knows? That is where they get to go for the discount dances. Let's go on to Mark Malone. He says 165 pounds. The little bastard was all balls. Squeege says Pittsburgh underutilized a lot of talent, got paid big time to catch halfback tosses. Cody says, where did Calvin Austin III go? I think we already got that. We started talking about it as soon as I seen you answer that, Cody. I'm pretty sure that is signed or spoken of. Introduced is unsigned at the moment. Tortilla says, next on the stage, put your hands together for Meatwad. Meatwad, everybody. There he is. Let's go to Joe. Giants will be tough. No, I do think the Giants are going to be interesting. Again, they've been building a nice team and, bringing in a new head coach and a lot of new pieces to be interesting to see what the Giants got going on. Cody says, dang, that's not bad for a wide receiver room if they still have Slayton. Somber says they lost Wendell and got Calvin Austin III, pretty much 1-1 replacement. The Rico interview. What's up, Jason? Always great seeing you on the terrible board. Jason Atkins, great seeing you, my man. Hope everything is going well for you. Let's go to Squeege. Squeege says this: Somber, I respectfully disagree, but we're also evaluating that from an offensive that during certain points was on pace to be the worst offense since the leather helmet. Cody says Ryan said 2 fingers, better make it 3. Hey, you can never be too safe about your colon. I'm just saying. The colon, very, very important. Ty says this, JPJ, very excited Brisker was here. They were college teammates. It didn't even dawn on me, Mike. Brisker and Joey Porter Jr., college teammates. And not only that, both being from Pittsburgh, Mike. Joey being from North Allegheny and Brisker at Gateway High School. So that's also an interesting connection.
Yep, both from the area. And once it was announced that he was signed, he was already tweeting out like, "I got to get some whatever pizza place it was and stuff," and all the Yinzers were eating it up. So he knows what's up in town.
Let's see how it is after he misses. Let's see how it is after he misses a tackle or an
exactly, exactly. We will turn on him in a heartbeat. I would be like, "Why did we sign this bum? I hated him at Penn State. That's why I'm a Hoosiers fan."
And Steeler Freaks' inside linebacker has been a problem since Shazier. It still isn't. I agree. Tyrone says we need offensive line depth. Another thing I totally 100% agree. I want to say welcome to what's up, Robert? Welcome back to the show. Brisker ran a 4.4940 dash. That is plenty fast enough for safety. Cody, Tyrone, also Christophus. What's up? Always great seeing Christophus on the terrible board. I'm not with most of my Yinzers who think that Spencer Anderson is not capable of being our starting guard. He's going to attack the offseason and get bigger and stronger. I like him. And you know what? I do have him on my list. I do have him. I was going to talk about him briefly because what is Spencer Anderson's role? Is he okay, here's the thing. We're keeping him around. So can he possibly be on this offensive line, Mike, as we start to put things together moving forward? If not, is he just a depth piece? And if he has no potential to play, ultimately, is what you might be saying, then why even keep the guy? So Spencer Anderson, what's his role moving forward, Mike?
I can see them, maybe this new coaching staff, wanting to see what his deal is. You know, he was seventh round pick couple years ago in 2023. So if he's developing the way you would hope, fringe starter at this point, you would hope. If he's sticking around this long, the little bit of time that he's played didn't embarrass himself. So why not give him a shot to compete? But I still want to bring someone in. That's the left side of your line. I want some pedigree there. I want some, especially, if we're going to go with Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard, I want something a little bit better than Spencer Anderson. I don't mind Spencer Anderson. I think his role might actually be that swing guard, a guy who can play left guard, right guard, be that key backup to where you don't have to have 45 guys on the offensive line. But if they don't get a high-end free agent or a high-end draft pick, look for Spencer Anderson and Dylan Cook to be the left side of your line.
All right, let's go to.
And that's not gonna knock the socks off of anyone.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we got to let him play. We got to let him compete. We'll look at him in camp, see how things go. But you know what? You're right. Just kind of wondering because again, we need line. We need depth. Of course, there's Spencer Anderson sitting there, and if we're not going to use the guy, let's move and get something else, maybe something that could be better. But we'll follow that as well, obviously, as everything else. Somber, he did mean left guard, I do believe, 100%. Let's go to Corey. He says, "What's up, guys? Big news posted on video saying that Calvin Austin III was going to the Giants, but I saw that was big news. Yes, sir." That did, in fact, happen. And again, Calvin Austin to the Giants, Connor Heyward to the Raiders, Miles Killebrew to the Buccaneers, guys. Those are all the big moves yesterday that we're leaving. The exit moves, Mike. The only move coming in was, of course, the big move with Jaquan Brisker, the Gateway High School grad, the Penn State grad coming back home. Mike, very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm loving that move.
Squeege said it's one of their current discussions. Also, Squeege says, hit the like, guys. We appreciate that. As always, Squeege, my man. Summer says that happened yesterday. Corey says this, don't drink that. I do want to say go visit Corey. He's right here on YouTube, guys. If you're into conspiracy theories, government, Sasquatch, ghosts, aliens, anything, any of those things pique your interest, check out Corey Beavers and Don't Drink That right here on YouTube, guys. He has mad content out. A lot of good stuff. Go check him out. Show him a little bit of love. Go check out Corey at Don't Drink That. Let's do Scoot up here too. Corey, he says, okay, thanks for letting me know. That sucks, but it's not the biggest loss for, you know what? I'm okay with it, Mike. I'm okay with it just because, listen, yes, he didn't have the best quarterback situation. I get that. So maybe Calvin Austin III never got the opportunity to do the things that we wanted him to do or what he could do.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is he was here a number of years. There was a time that he caught a long ball that he ran. I mean, it was a long pass. I don't remember what it was, but I remember him streaking down the middle of the field with the football. It was a big play. It was spotty with him, few and far between. Yes, it may have been the quarterback situation. Yes, it may have been because of a depleted offensive line. But at the end of the day, did you see enough from him to want to really keep him around? I like the idea of let's going out and getting Michael Pittman Jr., adding him to the receiving room. I like the idea of picking up somebody really talented in the first or second round of the draft this year. Mike, I think that maybe just as, again, this is a new era for the Steelers. And some of these guys, you just have to be okay with letting them go.
Yeah.
Calvin Austin falls in that category. And even Meatwad, Mike, somebody that we've both agreed on that he kind of grew on us. I mean, almost like mold to a degree. But we're, it's like, okay, it's time for this chapter. Let's see what this coaching staff could do. Let's see what they could put together. And these are all moves happening under that guise. So again, at the end of the day, Mike, I'm okay with it. I didn't love Calvin Austin. Listen, I didn't hate him. I liked him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if we could get something that's better than that, ultimately, that would be great. And again, good luck to him. I mean, the person, he's awesome. I hope he has an amazing time in New York with Harbaugh and company, and hope things go well for him. But again, Mike, there's just going to be changes now that we're going to have to accept and say, you know what, this is the new era, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it is. Anytime you have a new coach in any sport, they're gonna, want to bring in their guys, bring in their players. And there's only like a handful of guys on the team that are going to be like non-negotiable to the front office. You figure your big stars and the guys that were just drafted in the past couple of years, they're going to be non-negotiable. Anything after that is, you can do what you want to do. Tell us who you want, who you don't want, and all right, we'll make it work. We'll bring you the guys you want, and we'll get rid of the guys you don't want.
I agree. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says this: Cleveland now has 100% chance to toss up, profits in massage parlor if Deshaun Watson starts for them, bringing the Cleveland economy just under shifty instead of runny. Like in Justin Tucker, wasn't it rumored that there was interest in him also in Cleveland, or was?
I think that was from the meme places. Like, yeah, you get those two together on the team.
Did you imagine the spike in the massage parlors in northeastern Ohio?
Not only the spike in the massage parlors, but the spike in the reports to the police and alleged sexual misconduct.
And you do bring back Devin Bush as well. Devin Bush also.
Devin Bush up there killing cats.
And beating his woman here in Pittsburgh. So again, they're building a great team right there in Cleveland. As always, no surprises there. Let's go to Corey. Says, not the killer. No. Also, Corey follows it up by saying it's punt blocking was a 99 for us. If punt blocking was a 99 for us. Tyrone says we'll be fine. We will draft a wide receiver, and I agree. I think we're going to do fine. I think, as a matter of fact, Mike, depending on what goes on with that guard position between now and 41 days from now, is going to answer a lot how that wide receiver is going to be attacked. I think if we find our left guard, I think we may go left guard first round, wide receiver second round. However, if we find something that we're content with at the left guard position before then, Mike, I would not be surprised to see us go after one of the high-end talent wide receivers in the first round.
I hate to say this, but I think I brought it up the other day. Get ready for another offensive tackle in the first round. If Brojo is going to be a no-go, I made a rhyme. If Brojo is going to be a no-go and they don't get anything in free agency, and if they're not 100% sold on Dylan Cook, I'm bracing my. It's a key position. It's like quarterback.
Mike,
if you don't have one, you might as well keep going trying to find one.
One thing that you keep overbrushing was the guy that Dylan Cook did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went in last year. He stopped Myles Garrett from getting to the quarterback when Myles Garrett was beating every tackle in the league to get his sack record. Dylan Cook stepped in and didn't allow a sack to happen. As a matter of fact, all 3 or 4 games that he did play, or however many it was, Mike, there was not many complaints about Dylan Cook at the end of the day. So again, I wouldn't rule him out at this point. It's a whole new coaching staff.
Yep.
A lot of different things going on. Why does this keep happening? You know what? This drives me nuts because I lose my board, Mike. Why does it happen?
I don't know what's happening.
Can we look into that, please?
There's nothing I can do. It's literally
there has to be some that can't be a normal thing. I'm just saying. Let's look into that because I literally I can't continue the show because now I have to go in and do things and get to it and find it and all right, I go ahead and talk about something.
I was gonna say Dylan Cook real quick here. I was gonna pull up his
because I lost Mike. I lost half my I lost half the messages. They're gone. I can't lose everybody. I mean that can't be normal.
I literally don't know what to tell you.
I know you don't know, but I'm complaining. That way we can figure this out. We'll do it together. All right.
Ooh, we're gonna do it together.
We have to. we can't continue to lose all these comments. It's insane.
So anyway, real quick, guys. Dylan Cook in the 5 games that he started only gave up 2 sacks. Not bad, but really small sample size. I hope they bring in some more competition for him because that's really all he's played in his NFL career is that 1 year. I'm willing to give him a chance and let him compete in training camp, whether they bring in a mid-round draft pick or a mid-signing in free agency. I think competition at the left tackle position is an underrated talking point this offseason because it should have been a major talking point even with Broderick Jones healthy. But if people are comfortable with Dylan Cook, are we going to be, a 5-game sample size? This is what we're talking about here. And someone who didn't play tackle in college, he was a quarterback.
Doesn't performance mean anything?
Performance does.
Doesn't a guy that comes out and actually gets the job done, doesn't that mean anything? Because one guy came out of college, Mike, from a championship team, first-round pick, number 1 pick for the Steelers, and he stunk. This guy, not the pedigree, he gets the job done. Doesn't that mean something to actually get the job done?
It does.
Instead of always looking at pedigree and saying, well, this isn't going to work. This obviously was working.
Working, but again, small sample size.
Every opportunity he got, that was what when he did.
So let's sign him up to a
before you say anything ridiculous. No, that's not what I was
going to say. A top 10 left tackle contract
because that's a ridiculous thing to say. But again, Mike, the guy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying give him a shot.
The guy literally did everything we asked him for, and that's a tough thing to do at left tackle, considering that you're facing some of the people that he did face down the stretch. So again, I'm just saying you can't rule this guy out. It wouldn't be right.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, but that's why I said let's get some competition in there, and then let whoever's the better one win out of there. And if it's him, so be it, man. If he can pull it out and go on to have a damn good season this year, I'm ecstatic for it.
Let's go back to the board here, Mike. I think that I'm okay for the moment. I am. Let's go right here to. Tortilla says this. He says, you think Con was in the meetings like we can re-sign Connor or we can sign Brisker?
McCarthy, which one do you want?
Squeege, we appreciate it. He says, like the video, guys. Let's help our friends out. We appreciate that as always, Squeege. Thank you. Tyrone says, what about news on J-Ram? J-Ram, as far as I know, I'm not seeing anything, and Mike hasn't announced it during the show.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
There's going to be whatever it is. It's going to be figured out by 4 p.m. today. So if you don't hear anything from us during the show, keep your eyes open because again, the news about J-Ram is due today, as a matter of fact. Yeah,
because it's what a $2 million roster bonus. Normally, you don't pay those out if you're looking to trade someone. So if he's still here by 4, he ain't getting traded, boys.
That's right. Also, Squeege says, as of now, to my understanding, he's a Steeler. Yes, as of right now, he is. Tater said McCarthy, the crappy years. The Browns, the crappy years.
You're right. The Browns, the crappy decades.
The Browns, the crappy franchise. I do recall Mike McCarthy winning a Super Bowl. I can't remember how many times the Cleveland Browns anybody won a Super Bowl. But anyway, let's move on to the important things. And today says draft a quarterback in the first round. I don't think that we're going to see that this year, unfortunately. I mean, unfortunately, but fortunately, I guess I don't know if the quarterback is there to draft in the first round for the Steelers. Again, a lot of people saying Ty Simpson. I think that's a stretch. I don't think that's going to happen. But I could be wrong. At the end of the day, I could be, but I don't think that is going to happen.
Let's go with Carson Beck. He can see the entire stadium.
Damn right. You can see every sideline. He can be watching all the signals coming in from the other team's sideline.
Yeah,
watching what his coach.
I'm just worried about the pressure up the middle.
Yeah,
but that's where we're kind of set, so we're good there. So he got the eyes on the edge, so he might work out. And we don't throw to the middle of the field yet, so he would have been the perfect Mike Tomlin quarterback.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I do want to say this as well. We do know, if you don't know, I'm just putting it out there, that, of course, Kyler Murray did choose the Vikings, so he is off the table. Anybody that even had it in the back of their mind, he was teetering. He was interested somewhat in the Steelers, but heavily favored going to Minnesota. So, of course, Kyler Murray, the former Arizona Cardinals quarterback, on his way to Minneapolis, Mike, to play for the Vikings. Let's move on the board here, too. I'm going to go right here. Let's go to Corey. Don't drink that at Tyrone. Right when the F were we on the verge of losing J-Ram. He signed like a 3-year deal last season. Chad Schrader, what's up, dude? He says, "What's up, Mike and Ryan? I'm happy Brisker is home. Plus, I already met him in person and got his autograph at the Celebrity Game. So that a few years ago. That's awesome, dude. Chad, that is really awesome, man. I'm very excited that he is coming home." I listen. I didn't think. I thought, Mike, by doing the things they did early in the week, Savage, keeping what we have, perhaps. I didn't think they were going to make this move for Brisker. So again, man, they got me on that one. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they got me as well. I thought, okay, Savage would be their pick, and they're going to do something else and save you some lower tier guy that you probably never heard of. And then that happened. Like, hell yeah, baby.
Let's get to right here where Squeege says, "I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'd like our quarterback room this year to be Rodgers, Flacco, Howard, or Rodgers and McCarthy will make the offense work, and they could prepare Will Howard for this dance." I got to mean, ultimately, it's realistic to a degree.
Yeah.
I could honestly not see them bringing in both of those quarterbacks. Mike, I could see Aaron coming back, or maybe, possibly even a Joe Flacco. But I can't imagine both of them guys being here, especially with Mason Rudolph.
Exactly.
He's familiar. He's comfortable. He knows the system. I don't know at this point if this is what this what this coaching staff wants to focus on, is bringing in a new backup quarterback to familiarize with the system. When you have a kid coming up through the system, there's just a lot going on at quarterback right now. And if you have Mason, I just don't really feel that would be in the list of things for the Steelers to do right now. I mean, again, it may, but I can't imagine both of those guys coming to town.
Yeah, me either. If we didn't have Mason Rudolph, then yeah, and if you want to continue Will Howard in a developmental role, you would do something like that. Get two vets that excuse me, that can still run a pro offense and make smart decisions for your team, because we want to be Rooney competitive, and those two quarterbacks scream Rooney competitive, and then having them both mentor Will Howard, that also screams like a Rooney type move. But we got my guy Mason Rudolph, so I think it will be Rodgers, Rudolph, Howard, or if Rodgers decides to retire, it will be Rodgers, Howard fighting for a starting job, or excuse me, Mason and Howard fighting for a starting job.
Well, let me get you some information here, guys. These were some things that I wasn't able to get out yesterday. This, Mike, was information. This was an article. This was written by Jerry Dulac, of course, right here in Pittsburgh. Mike, he says the Steelers' plan B, if Aaron Rodgers retires, is still Will Howard. He says, quote, "He's going to get a shot," end quote. Plan is to go all in on working on him with him and see what they have, Mike. I think, again, if Will Howard in fact stays healthy through the camp through preseason, I think he's certainly going to get his opportunities, rightfully so. I think he should get his opportunities. Will Howard, that was written by Jerry Dulac. Also, Mike, I did see Ian Rappaport, Mike, did say this about Aaron Rodgers as well, Mike. He says, quote, he is likely to have his decision by the end of the month, end quote. So a few things there. And I also see Mike, our guy RB, our draft guy, he does, and this morning sometimes I'll chime in and see what him and Chop are talking about, and I did see that he said that there might be a little bit of a setback he did here. I'm not sure what the source was on that, but Mike, this morning I did see he said that there might be some sort of setback with Aaron Rodgers. Whatever that is, I don't know. But again, we're still keeping an eye on that, and people are certainly expecting something at least by the end of this month, as by way of Aaron Rodgers.
And like we've been saying all along, the Steelers, even if they don't 100% know what Rodgers is going to do, they have plans in place, and it sounded like they're going to, run it with Will Howard and a Mason Rudolph quarterback room, which, like we've been saying for weeks now on the show, is not the worst thing to do.
It's familiar. And you know what? That's 9/10 of the battle, Mike, because again, at the end of the day, you're bringing new people in and they have to learn, you have to teach. And, for what a backup quarterback really is. And for what he came in one game last year. Okay, we did lose the game. It was a close game to the Bears, who were a good team.
It turned out to be a really good team.
And he just wasn't able to make that throw. But this is what you're expecting from your quarterback, a guy that knows the system, a guy that could come in and basically run the offense, not be great at it, but coming in with the knowledge of it. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, Mike, is probably a good reason to keep Mason Rudolph around. I'm not saying that any of these other guys, I'm not saying that Joe Flacco wouldn't be a great backup as well. But you look at a guy like Flacco, when teams want him to play at his old age, Mike, he's still productive. He's still able to get wins for Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis. So you know what? I think if he goes somewhere, somebody's probably going to want him to play a little bit more, and they might pick him up for that. But at the end of the day, Mike, I think it's probably going to be Mason Rudolph backing up. And again, Will Howard's going to be working in molding and shaping and forming into what they ultimately want. But right now, I don't really see a big reason, Mike, to make that move at backup quarterback.
Not me either. And, this is Mason's last year on his contract. The cap hit is only, 4.6. You cut him, you save $3 million. We're not in that dire need of cash.
We're not. That's what I'm
but
saying.
Then you cut him. Are you going to want someone else to back up Will Howard, or to back up Aaron Rodgers to have second line? Or do you want Will Howard to be your second in line? And if they don't want him to be the second in line yet, Mason Rudolph is here and he works for cheap. That's what they're going to run with. And he's a backup. Usually when most teams' backups are in there, you're not going to have the greatest chance to win. And I think we have a better chance to win with Mason Rudolph than some teams' backups and some teams' starters probably, that are going with young, inexperienced guys.
Let me go to we are at the 1 hour mark, so I do want to make this comment, guys. If you're wondering about the 30 visits, Mike, there has been 2 local visits, 2 non-local visits, and 1 local visit of the Steelers' 30 visits, Mike. The 2 non-local visits, offensive tackle Markel Bell from Miami, the Hurricane, Mike, pretty badass dude. Also, how do you pronounce this? Ephesians.
Oh, I had it yesterday. Give me 1 second here.
What are you trying to think of?
I gotta see the name to pronounce it.
Prysock, Prysock.
Yeah, Ephesians Prysock.
Okay, so that's really beside the point. Is we did have a non-local meeting with him, a visit with him, and Mike, the third one, Khalil Dinkins from Penn State, the tight end. These 3 players, he was a local visit. Mike, the other 2 non-local visits, 3 of the 30 visits had taken place. Price, yes, exactly. Somber, thank you, sir. So, Mike, that is that.
Ephesians Prysock. And now that we need him just to listen to Yinzers try to say Ephesians Prysock.
Some of these players, I'm gonna have to get some new jersey with Savage. Who doesn't want a jersey that says Savage on the back?
Right.
and Prysock. Let's say Prysock comes here. A lot of interesting names.
Prime sock. That's what you got to do for Derpy to find a pair of socks. Is prime off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That took a while to get there, but I got there.
Prime out from underneath the bed.
Oh, coming out stiff as a board.
Yeah. Let's go to. Where are we going to go to?
I don't know.
Tyrone says if PQ is still here, if PQ's still here, J Ram's chilling. I absolutely. I mean, of course, you're going to take somebody with the talent that PK. I'm sorry, with J Ram and PK. So again, it depends, Mike. Again, I know that there was few teams interested in Patrick Queen. We were talking a little bit yesterday. Dallas. It didn't look like that fell through. But Philadelphia also had interest in PQ as well. Yeah. He could be somebody that I think that could be gone any given day, but I wouldn't be surprised ultimately, Mike, if he ends up being on the roster at the end of the process also.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, if you ship him out, and we haven't signed really anyone to to replace him, because all we did was bring back Cole Holcomb, who was already on the roster. That's creating a big hole in your roster. So now you got to allocate another draft pick to him, because who you getting in free agency? I can't even think of any of the inside backers off the top of my head right now. But do you want to be creating holes in your roster without having a backup plan? Because now that's another draft pick you got to get, and you got to hope that rookie can come in and outproduce Patrick Queen. So it's, yeah, you might want him off the team, but who's going to play? Who's going to be in there? It's easy to say, oh, we'll just play Cole Holcomb and we'll just play what's his name, Peyton Wilson. But those guys really weren't beating out Patrick Queen.
I mean, Peyton Wilson could do it, but as far as Cole Holcomb, I'm not even sure the guy's just barely seen the field. Let's get to Don't Drink That, Corey. So shut up, Tater. Go watch football. FUTBOL, of course. Let me get down here a little bit to Christophus. I see him coming up next on the board, Mike. Let's go to Christophus. He says we have 5 picks in the top 100. If one of them is not a barroom brawling nose tackle, I will pull my hair out.
Dante Corleone.
I was going to say Dante Corleone out of Cincinnati, and that's another name. Like, if we had Dante Corleone, you can't tell me you wouldn't run out and just grab this jersey. Just,
he could be the biggest draft whiff of all time, and I would still be rocking a Dante Corleone jersey.
Damn straight. Jamal, my man, my dog, gang, brother. Always great seeing you, sir. Great seeing the great Jamal from the great state of Texas, my friend. I hope all is going well for you, sir. Nice seeing you on a terrible board today. Somber says, bro, Rodgers and Flacco. Of course, referring back to the comment just a moment ago. Let's see, Squeege, was you laughing at Flacco when he whooped our ass? And you know what? That's very true. When you do say it like that, Squeege says, what? No, Connor Heyward is he's a Raider now. Connor Heyward is a Raider now. Again, another team, Mike, I think that's going to be worth just keeping an eye on this year. A lot of moves went on with the Raiders, the Buccaneers, and the Giants. Nobody that we're even interested in. We don't play the Raiders. We don't play the Giants. We do get the Buccaneers. So we see Miles Killebrew next year, Mike. We don't see Ciamalo in Arizona, and, of course, Gainwell in Tampa. So we will see him as well. Let's move down on the board here. Chad Trader said, I was really hoping to keep Connor Heyward to be our fullback, but best wishes to him in the Raiders. You know what, Mike? I was okay with him as well. He did, like I said, he grew on you.
Yep.
He did all the little, the scrappy things well. And it's hard to find a guy that does the little scrappy things well, and it's totally okay with just doing the scrappy things. And Connor Heyward fell into that category. He said, you know what? This is my ticket. This is how I'm going to play in the NFL. Let me do my best at it. And you know what? He did his best. And again, I would have been fine with Connor Heyward staying here.
Me too. And he added the tush push to his repertoire this year.
Mike, also these comments by Ryan Clark. Did anybody see these? The Steelers should go with the quarterback that is going to be the worst option this year. Go with the quarterback that's going to give you the most losses. Mike, I mean, this is obviously something that's been talked about.
Yeah.
Throwing a season is something that, nobody wants to say out loud. But at the end of the day, with this change of the era, I kind of want to see what we have. Let's put our best foot forward. And if our future is going to be Will, let's take a look at Will. And if, again, this is a pretty important year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, tanking to get a high quarterback. Again, if that's your plan, that's your plan. But at the end of the day, Mike, I just think that this season is too important in a way. Let's try to see what the ceiling is for this group of guys. Let's see what the ceiling is for these coaches at first look. Because, again, Mike, sometimes the first impression goes such a long way.
Yeah.
So, again, Ryan Clark, CTE, or is he making sense here with this?
Kind of making sense here. If you're looking at our roster, maybe, and you want to see Will Howard play, maybe that was his way of saying play Will Howard. Play the younger guy that really hasn't seen any NFL action, and go out there, and if he doesn't play up to the way you think he did or the way you think he can, you're gonna, like we talk about on the show, what's the worst possible outcome? You find out he's not a starter, and next thing you know, you're drafted in the top 5, top 10. So not a bad idea. And if
no, you're right. The idea is it's a good
and if
idea.
you go out there and he is like your worst quarterback on the roster based on just current NFL production, but the potential, if you think he has
So-
it could be. It's like been saying on the show all week, man. It's a win-win situation if you play Will Howard.
I
Because if
agree.
he turns out to be good, it's awesome for your team, and you're like, "Holy shit, we got a guy!"
And
if he doesn't turn out like
you're getting a
Ryan
better
Clark
pick, so you
said,
could go get that quarterback.
so you can go get that quarterback.
So in theory, it's a good idea.
in theory, it's a good idea.
But
Like,
again, Mike, there's bigger fish to fry with this football
Yeah.
team, and there's a lot of things that we have to make sure are in place. Yes, the quarterback is a huge part of that.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to be interesting. Could you see Mike McCarthy coming in and say, "Oh, let's put the worst possible guy back there, so we can try"? It's not going to happen. So again, I think the CTE set in, but ultimately, I guess if that's the road that you're going to go, that's a good plan in a sense. So,
but as like a fan of the team, and you
Right,
want to see
right.
them get better in the long run, and you see a lot of teams do it, is that have a good foundation. Let's have an off year to go get a guy, but we have a chance to have an off year to see if we have the guy on the roster. If not, and then go get the guy. We're in that weird situation. Like that's why I'm kind of talking myself into just playing Will Howard, because you can answer a shit ton of questions
here's the
this
thing, Mike.
year
You
if
can
you
start
play
Aaron
him.
Rodgers. Do you think we're going to go to the Super Bowl? Do you think we're going to win in
No.
February?
No.
So the answer should be Will Howard, because again, you learn everything that you need to know in the correct time, in real time. Oh, he's good. He managed to get us a 10-win season, which Aaron would have probably got us maybe a little bit more. But you know what? We got to the playoffs under Will Howard. Let's move forward. We like this about him. We like this. We know this is what we have to improve on with him. And then also, let's say, oh shit, he has this problem. Oh, he has that problem. Oh, he doesn't throw this ball well. Now we can start putting the pieces together, saying, you know what, maybe we should consider looking at, because we're only pulling up 7 wins, and this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at this.
Yeah.
And then you can start saying, well, you know what, we're just at that level now where we could probably, with draft picks, move our way up to get the guy, that we want in the draft next year. So I think that the no-brain answer at this point is Will Howard. But ultimately, you have to start it as a competition in preseason. You have to, because a lot of people are going to be like, one thing for sure, a lot of people want him in there, but then you're going to have the other side of the table. It's going to be like, well, so you got to have to kind of put him through the gauntlet in the process to get to that point to start him in this season. But I'm all for having Will Howard play this year.
So am I, just because it will answer a shit ton of questions for your team, and there's also that little third area in between to where he totally didn't shit the bed but totally didn't light the world on fire, and you go, okay, maybe if we tweak a little things, he can be our guy, but that still doesn't preclude you from going get a quarterback, because you can say, hey, we can keep working on him, and if he develops, we can ship him out and trade him, or if he doesn't develop those little, or doesn't fix the little problems that we notice, guess what? Okay, he's now our long-term number 2. So a lot of questions would be answered by playing your worst quarterback. So in a roundabout way, Ryan Clark was right.
And then, Mike, also, if he does fall to the number 2, let's just say he doesn't, if he fails this process, and then people could say, the people that aren't quite satisfied with Mason, maybe he has more skill and ability than Mason Rudolph, and then him sitting at your number 2 is an upgrade at that position. So again, getting this guy on the football field should be priority numero uno this year. It really should be. Again, I think it starts with a competitive, whoever is on that roster in the quarterback room in July, Mike, they have to be in as competitive can be, and that's how it has to play out. That has to be how it plays out.
And you look at the roster that has been built at the skill positions and in the O-line, because I'm going to base this on them addressing left guard and left tackle. It's not a bad situation to put a young quarterback in. You got 2 established veterans at wide receiver,
and especially in this league,
2 established guys at running back. 3/5 of your offensive line are well above average. One, in your center is playing at an all-pro level. It's not a bad situation to walk into as a second-year quarterback. Why not get him out there. Because like we said, it's going to answer a lot of questions.
And every other team also, Mike, that gets their young quarterback, they have him playing to some capacity. Whether they threw him right in like Drake May or whether it's something similar, you got to let the kid play. And again, if you're not going to, then just accept it and say, you know what, he's not what we want. Let's move on and do something. But as of right now, from the way I see it, this kid has to be on the football field this summer a lot. He has to be doing the Skylar Thompson time this summer that Skylar did last year. Again, having him compete against whoever is in that room. But again, the outcome should result possibly in him being the starter, Mike. That's what it has to come down to, I think. Unless they surprise us, unless they pull something out of their ass. But at this point, all the moves are gone. Everybody's accounted for. A lot of players, Mike, to their new teams. The Kyler Murrays are in Minnesota. So again, this looks like the hand we're going to play. No surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
And here we are. And again, this young man has to play. And the one thing that could really F this up, if he goes into camp and gets hurt again.
Yeah.
Then we have a problem.
A big problem.
2 years hurt. IR for most of the season last year. Broken hand off of Zach Fraser's ass. What if he has another ridiculous kind of injury again this year? Is that change the opinion of the Steeler collective, the fans? Because then what? Now we have to wait a whole nother year.
Yeah,
that's not going to fly.
Yeah, if he does get hurt, and that's going to raise a lot of concerns, and you should be like, okay, 2 years in the league, he's been hurt twice, not playing any games. That's not those are not traits that you want to see in a starting quarterback.
Right.
Someone who gets hurt in practice.
What do you need from a starting quarterback? A guy that's going to be there and ready to play week in, week out, and to have a guy that has not been available in 2 years is not a good start for somebody that wants to be a starting quarterback. So, God forbid. Again, you can't help injuries. They happen.
Yeah.
But God forbid. I hope the guy has his opportunity to show what he can do.
And looking at, like, if I remember back from his career, I don't think he missed time in college with injuries at all, from K-State to Ohio State. So
let's do a jump back on the board right here, Mike, where let's go to Jamal. He says, Rico is a dog. I couldn't agree with you. Listen, Jamal, Rico, again, I said this earlier in the show, I don't know if you were here or not, but he outgained Kenneth Walker III, who was the MVP of the Seahawks, who got mad money in his move this year. Rico Dowdle, he had more rushing yards, more touchdowns, in the same exact yards per carry average as Kenneth Walker III. So again, a lot of people, some people kind of bummed we didn't bring in Kenneth Walker. We weren't able to get him. We weren't able to land him, but we also got Dowdle for just a fraction of the cost. So I like Dowdle. He is a dog. And again, he was and it said on the board, I seen it, I think it's coming up, that Carolina does have a good offensive line, and they managed to win a couple games last year, and they won quite a few actually. But still, you're playing for the Super Bowl champions, and you're playing for the Carolina Panthers, and the guy on the Panthers head and shoulders number wise better than the Super Bowl MVP. We got him for a fraction of the cost. Mike, also Gainwell, he didn't want to be here. We found this out. He wanted to be in Tampa Bay last year, so that's okay with me. Do we like him? Yes. Was he the MVP? Yes. Was he very valuable? Yes. Did he catch 70 passes? Yes. But ultimately, Mike, if you could replace him with something better, which we did statistically, and let Gainwell go wherever he wanted to go, I think everybody wins.
I think so too.
Imagine how he'll play on a team that he wants to be on.
He played out of his mind here.
Yeah. So
isn't it funny that that's the way sometimes life works? Oh man, I don't want to do this, and turns out to be the best thing to ever happen for me. And it was a perfect marriage, between a marriage of convenience for both parties, and it worked out for both parties last year with the Steelers and Kenny G. Because my God, he helped us win a lot of games, and we helped him make a lot of money going down to Tampa.
Let's go to Squeeze. Squeeze says this, then go root for another team. What the fuck? Quit being so negative, dude. I'm not sure what that was referring to. Somber says, who the F are you? I don't know who they're talking to. I want to find out.
They're talking to each other.
Oh, they're talking to one another?
Oh, yeah. I was looking ahead earlier.
Okay.
I've been waiting for you to get to this part.
Is it? Is there a battle going on, Mike?
There was a battle. Well, once I realized what was going on, I'm like, I'm going to stop and wait and let Ryan.
All right, let's see if we can come in. Let's see if we can come across anything. We had some battles out throughout the week, Mike. I remember the other day Ty was he was going at it, and so it's been a pretty hectic week. It's free agent frenzy, Mike. This is what you get during free agent frenzy. And again, this might be one of the bigger ones, certainly in a long time for the Steelers. Let's get to Black Magic, my man Jamal. He says this, LOL. Whoa, what's going on here? LOL, Squeege. Tortilla says, who he's talking about? Jamal follows that up by saying this. See, this is driving me crazy with this board. Jamal says, well, what's going on here? Who he's talking about? Jamal follows it up by saying, my brother, what does cuz? Also, Squeege says, ask Somber. I'm giving my takes. Dude's been in here trolling. Somber says this. Bro said Rodgers and Flacco and tells me to root for another team. Okay, it's all starting to come together now.
Yep.
I get you. Let's go to what's your solution? Squeege is saying. He says back to Somber. Tortilla says Willpower Howard. Solution to what? Starting QB. Let's see. Jamal says Jamal says wait. Where the F have I been? A little Friday action, Mike. A little Friday action on the board. I'm there for it. I like Friday action on the board.
I know, right? The juices are flowing, man.
I couldn't agree more. Let's go to Squeege. He says, yes. How are you lost in the conversation this early into it? I do want to say what's up to Robert. Robert, I think he did just answer. He had messaged just recently. He says Rico is very good, but Carolina had to spend money on that O-line, and they did have a solid offensive line. That is true. You're right. You are right. And Carolina was improved. You got to admit, this team gave Tampa Bay a run, Mike, until the last, couple weeks of the season. I think it came down to Carolina was certainly improved. Keep an eye on them maybe moving forward.
And who would have thought that little quarterback down there would be playing as well as he
they have
especially after especially after his rookie year when last year or the year before when he got replaced by Andy Dalton for a few games. Like that little benching, I think, did wonders for him, and he's been playing lights out since.
Somber says definitely not two 40-year-old quarterbacks. Pick one, not both. What are we doing here? LOL. Corey says solution to quarterback is to stop playing games with the Rodgers and let it be with what we have. Worst case scenario is if we are dog shit and get another quarterback in 2027, we can't keep playing middle of the pack every year. Tortilla can't ask questions now. Damn. Squeege says that's why Howard's on the roster. Let the veterans coach him up. And, like the situation Rodgers is infamously for.
Ooh, not wrong.
You're right. Let's go to Mark Malone. We had decent production out of some of those guys. That's what I'm saying, guys. We managed with the BS that we had last year. From the players to some of the coaching decisions and things as such, we were improved. You got to admit, we seem to be improved. So again, I predicted we'd land on our feet, Mike. And again, 10-7 in the playoffs was what we were last year. So it's going to be interesting. Will certainly be interesting to see what this team that we were building, along with the whole new coaching staff from top to bottom. You didn't like what Terrell Austin did? Well, guess what? He's gone. You didn't like what the offensive line coach did? I think he's still involved. There are some people involved, but the point being, Mike, it's a whole new system, and we should see significant changes. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla say, let's all remember it's everyone versus Tater, not free for all. That's true. That is very true.
Exactly. If we're going to fight, channel that anger and hatred towards Tater Tot.
That's why I like Tortilla. He's always the voice of reason. Tortilla is the voice of reason. That was supposed to be funny, Mike. You're supposed to laugh. Tortilla is the voice of reason.
Ha ha ha.
Let's move on. Let's go to Mark Malone. Sometimes those guys get cut immediately. Jamal says, Squeege, it's all good, man. We have fun with the trolls. Go get them. Go get them. Following that up, I say Tater went from a troll to a fan. That's right. Tater, the newest Steeler fan in Northern Ireland. Everybody, Tater Tart.
Welcome, Tater, to the Steeler Nation.
And if he became an official Steeler fan, I would drop the Tard from his name. I would.
Me too.
He would just be Tater, and that would
He'd just be Tater. Cool. Yeah.
People might not hate him as much. let's go to Get Ahead of Mike. Get Ahead of course, I can't. Who can forget this name on the terrible board? Get Ahead of minus 40/40 club. Get Ahead of says this Rogers isn't coaching anybody up. How did that logic work out for Zach Wilson? Well, you know what? They both are going after chicks. I know that. I don't know if that played. I know at least Aaron says that he is. I don't know what's going on with him and the wife, but
I don't know. Like Will Howard and said that he's learned a lot from Rogers, and Rogers says they've been learning in it, like when they had their film studies and all that. Him and Will Howard, worked well together.
Let's go, Mike. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to fast forward just so I could keep up and stay somewhat relevant with the comments. Let me get to. I'm coming up here to. And I apologize, guys. Again, I do read all of them. I read every single message every day. I'm going to get to the ones on the air that we can get to. You guys still doing the dueling streams. We are. Mike, he talked me into it.
We do the dueling streams, but it's in beta testing right now. So I'm having some issues every once in a while, but the mainstream is always up and running.
Let's go to Black Magic. He says, "Yo, mama's so old when she climaxes, she squirt dust."
I have been hearing Yo Mama jokes for so long. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Listen to this. This isn't even a made up story. It just hit me though. Once this came up, last night when I was sleeping, I had a dream. Now, again, you might not know what I'm talking about, but there was a rap group in the 90s called Farside, and they had a song that was called Yo Mama, and it basically was a song capping on people's moms. And in my dream, I could hear the lyrics of the song, and it was wild because it has a bunch of, funny mama things like your mama got an afro with a chin strap, your mama got a peg leg with a kickstand, your mama got a glass eye with a fish in it. And like, I'm hearing all these caps in my head, and it was wild because again, in dreams, you don't control that. And I just kept thinking to myself, what is this? Why am I hearing it? It's awesome. But again, end of the day, it was called Yo Mama from the Far Side, spelled with a PH at the beginning. Good stuff, guys. Let's get back on the terrible board right here. To what? All right here. Still Loyal says, I already can see Jahmyr Gibbs breaking Devin Bush's ankles. Derpy in the house, Mike.
Derpy
says Steelers right now are introducing Pittman in a press conference. Cody says, Ryan, you should ask Somber to be your computer guy. Somber is very tech savvy, Somber. Before I even respond to that, I did see what Somber said. So let me get there in just a second. As it was flying by. Don't drink that. Corey says Gibbs is going to give him PTSD. He's going to dive at the ground and pretend to tie his cleats. Let's go to Mark Malone. 5 games? 6 games? Mark Malone, bigger sample size than Malik Willis. LOL. He got mad money for his small sample size. That is a good point.
Yeah.
Pittman interview. Tyrone says still loyal. He says, I'm watching the Pittman interview now. Let's go Somber. Wait, no, I'm dumb. That's what he said in response to the tech savvy. He says, wait, what? I'm dumb, man.
That's what someone would say when they are tech savvy and they don't want anyone to bother them.
Ooh, I like
it. On to you, Somber.
Let's go to, where are we going? Hold on. Let me move this where I can see it. There we go, guys. Still Loyal says, I don't expect Ramsey to go anywhere. Neither do I. Jamal says Ramsey trash. Robert says Ramsey and Queen do roster bonuses. Queen is $3 million. Mike, that Queen roster bonus, $3 million. Again, Ramsey, we're supposed to find out today. And we do know that there are teams trying to pry Patrick Queen away, which some people might think is a good idea. You know what? Let him go. But what hole does that create? Do you fill it with anything better? With all the things that we're trying to do that we need now, Mike, if you create another hole, are you really helping your team out? I mean, if you could get somebody to fill that hole immediately and they could get you the results, that would be the best case scenario. But again, that's not likely. And putting Holcomb in that spot, I just don't think is the answer, Mike.
Unless are you going to swing for a linebacker in the first round or hope one falls or sitting there in the second round for you to take? It's because I don't know. Just run it with him, build up that D line, and then maybe draft someone in the mid rounds, later rounds to have as depth again. And when Queen moves along, if that guy's good enough, fill it in right there, or just run him back and then let him go in free agency, then plug that hole next year in free agency. Like right now, we're plugging a lot of holes.
Yes.
Why create another one? To me, it's like when everyone was saying, "Hey, let's get rid of Fryermuth." Like, why? Yeah, it's just another hole to fill. Right now, man, they are filling a lot of holes so they can go into this draft with a lot of flexibility.
I agree. Steel Loyal says trade terms. Steelers now have acquired wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. in 2026 7th round pick, 230th overall from the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for 2026 6th round pick, 214th overall. How does that, Mike? How does that benefit Indianapolis? Why did they make this move?
Cap relief. That's really what it was. It was a salary dump for them, and if they didn't have to dump him, man, and he was on the open market, they would have got more than a sixth round pick for him. So yeah, definitely a salary cap dump.
Steel Lewis said that was per Adam Schefter. Let's move up here to Jamal. Jamal says most missed tackles he should be paying us to play. Shaking my head.
I was going through some of the advanced stats on some of the guys. Yeah, his missed tackle rate is high. It's like at 30%. But everyone's favorite, Nick Herbig, he's at 22% missed tackle rate. So
another thing,
yeah, that's scary right there. Two dynamic players that have trouble wrapping up and finishing plays.
Let's move on. Let's go to Corey. Corey says that Jamal, is he trash, or did Austin not know how to put a defensive scheme together? Yeah, that's again a lot of questions, guys. That's going to be answered again with a new coaching staff. A lot of things that we bitched, moaned, complained. Oh, this is Terrell Austin. Oh, this is Mike Tomlin. Oh, a lot of those questions are going to be answered this year, guys. So, Corey says I don't know if he missed a lot of tackles like that. LOL. Let's go to Jamal. I think Jamal says trash. Mark Malone says, oh, what a loss. Steel Loyal says, Jamal, I think you're mistaking PQ for J-Ram. Laugh my ass off. Tyrone, Colts got con artist. Steel Loyal, PQ had the most missed tackles on the team, which is true, which somebody had to have it. I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds really bad, but if you're a middle linebacker in the middle of every single play, I guess it kind of adds up. You're going to miss tackles, but definitely not something you want to see.
Yeah.
PQ's a bums with Tyrone saying, Aaron J, there it is, Mike. My weekend is set.
Nope.
There's the message of the day. He's automatically getting a game ball. Game ball to Aaron right now. Here we go, Steelers, my man. Tyrone says J-Ram needs to be nickel. Jamal says I was talking about PG, but J-Ram trash too. PQ, but J-Ram trash too. Just Learning says new defensive coordinator, so it's going to be different defense. That's, again, a lot of those questions are going to be answered. Was Terrell Austin really that bad? We're going to find out something. We're going to find things out this year.
A lot's going to be learned.
In the Don't Drink That, Corey says this. He says, damn, I like PQ, though. I like his attitude, and we had a stretch where it looked like he was putting it all together, and the whole defense started falling apart again. Steel Loyal says J-Ram is trash at outside corner. I'll give you that. But at nickel, big nickel, Ramsey nice. And I agree. And again, he's going to be very beneficial, especially if all the talent that we're bringing in works out for us. The other corner and the other safeties. And, we replaced a lot of things in that secondary to where maybe Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to do what it is that lets Jalen Ramsey do what he does best. And I think that's what people are hoping for. Somber says most missed tackles in the league. That is a crazy stat. Did he have the most in the league?
I'm not sure.
I don't think he had the most in the league. I know he had most on the team. He had 31 missed tackles on the team. But again, I think there was people that had more missed tackles in the league. I'm not sure. Mike's checking into that.
Yep.
Tyrone says JPJ, Dean outside, J-Ram, Nickel, Brisker, Elliott, the free safety, strong safety, Eccles, Samuels, depth. That's what I'm saying. It's certainly improved from last year. And the thing was, we thought last year was getting better. And we found times during the season when the secondary was just looking old, certainly a specific game against Cincinnati and other games as well. So hopefully that all got fixed with all these secondary moves, Mike.
Hopefully it got missed that way. Dang it. Like you Google search most missed tackles and it's giving you the guy who has the most tackles. I hate the internet.
Jamal says Ramsey got scorched all year long. He's not a linebacker and can't cover worth a shit. Steel Loyal said a linebacker. I said a big nickel, bro. Let's see. Jamal says he wants to play linebacker. LOL. Steel Loyal. Let's move up here. He plays strong safety. Mark Malone with his Beck. He wants Beck so bad. He just wants a quarterback that can see both sidelines at the same time. I know that. I know that's what's going on with Mark Malone.
That is exactly what's going on with him.
He'll be fine. Jamal Tyrone is saying he got scorched weekly. Jamal is saying in return, Just Learning said in the last 5 years or so, we haven't had a good offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Tyrone says Patrick Quinn got to go through Quinn got to go though, bro. Most missed tackles is insane. Steel Loyal says not at strong safety. He didn't. LOL. That was Duggar. Jamal. Jamal says dude got spit on because he's trash. Yinzer Joe says Murray. No, let me move it right here. Yinzer Joe says Murray said he didn't want to run from Garrett, Watt, Hendrickson, or Crosby, so he went to the Vikings only to run from Parsons and Devin Bush.
Okay, so Patrick Queen was number one. He had 32 missed tackles, followed by Devin White with 26.
Oh, so there you go. I was wrong. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and his missed tackle percentage surprisingly wasn't the highest of the league. Oh my god, dude for New England missed 40% of his tackles.
Jeez. So you're telling me you could get to the Super Bowl with a guy on your defense that missed 40% of the tackles?
Yeah, that is fucking insane. That is an insane stat. Bradley Chubb, who just signed a monster contract, missed 30% of his tackles. So
maybe that's why they got rid of him. Maybe that's why he's on the move.
And another team saw that and said, "Sign me up. Here's the bag."
Now, just like in a relationship, everybody thinks they could fix the other. They think they can fix them, baby. You know?
God, that's.
Jamal says this. He says Duggar's better than J Ram. Steel Loyal says Jamal, you tripping now? Jamal says that touchdown given up against Cleveland was some rigged bullshit. I think we could all remember that particular play. Let's see. Steel Loyal says Jamal turning into a Ravens fan. Never, Jamal says in return. Let me scoot up a little bit more, Mike. I'm gonna skip some. I do apologize, guys, just to stay current on the show for the most part and to keep up. Let's go to right here. Jamal says this. Just call me TLC. I don't want no scrubs. Don't want no scrubs. I love it. You know what? That's a game ball. Game ball too, Jamal. Just because it goes back to my 90s, and you know what? I knew what he was talking about. Let's see. In 5, I trust Patrick. In 5, I trust Patrick Graham is what Tyrone is saying. Price Sock Somber was clearing that up for us. I'm going to jump up a little bit more while I'm doing so. I'm going to look for some different names. I don't want to miss anybody new on the board. If I do, I apologize. But again, just due to time, I'm going to move it up a little bit here. We jump back on with Just Learning. He says we have a new coaching staff. It's a fresh start for everyone, and I like that. I like it. It's fresh. Again, you know, any of the issues that we've been dealing with, Mike, we're going to find out if they were issues because of the coaching staff or problems with players. And again, it's almost like a reset is good sometimes. Yeah. You know, and I know a lot of people love Coach Mike. And I know, speaking of Coach Mike, he did make his first appearance since he resigned from the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching position. Mike, first public comments since resigning from the team last night with his wife, Kaya. They were honored with the Patricia R. Rooney Community Impact Award at the Ireland Gala, one of those galas they had last night, Mike. Just give me a moment if you want to comment on that. I'm going to pull up what his comments were last night.
Mike T. I miss Coach T already. I wonder, did he drop any Tomlinisms in that remarks that Ryan's going to look up there? Well, Ryan's looking for that.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Yes, Mike Tomlin, Thursday night at the Irish Gala. The Irish Gala. He says this. It's often said that we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. like you have to choose. And I think our experience here in Pittsburgh and with the great Steelers organization exemplifies that we were here for a long and really good time. Thanks for the memories. Also goes on to say, well, this is what Kaya says. Kaya Tomlin on her and Mike Tomlin's time in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin's wife says, we never did it for the recognition, but I just want to thank you. More importantly, I want to thank all the many communities in Pittsburgh that really welcomed us with open arms. It has truly been an honor to serve Pittsburgh for 19 years. Thank you. That was from Coach T's wife, Kaya. Both again speaking last night at the Irish Gala for the first time since departing, if you will, roughly 6 weeks ago. Give or take. Mike, your comments on Coach T.
I'm going to miss Coach T. I always like Coach T, and it's always cool like when your coaches are really active in the community. And you always notice that in Pittsburgh, the coaches and all the players are very active in the community. And once they're here, they never leave. So I think we're going to see more and more of Mike Tomlin doing stuff like this in the future, because I don't think he's going to end up leaving the area.
And as I always said, it's never the guy that I had a problem with. There was always there was coaching things over the years that just accumulated for me. And then to see the way that the way that the team was going, the direction and how it kind of just stayed still is where I had my problems. Again, if he would have been able to get it together, let's just say this past season, if we would have beat Houston and get out of the first round, maybe even made it competitive in the second round, it might have, affected the way I thought. But at the end of the day, the guy himself, I'm a big fan of. I like the person, and he could be in Pittsburgh for the rest of his life, and I'd be just fine with that. But as far as the coach, I think that's kind of where we just overall as a team we needed a change. Nothing against the guy.
Yeah.
Again, I wish him, his wife, his daughters, all the luck in the world. Hopefully he could enjoy retirement. That's ultimately what it's about. He earned it. So, Mike, that was Mike Tomlin last night at the Irish Gala, his first comments since departing.
Going to miss Coach T.
I am too. Again, a good guy. It's what it ultimately comes down to. But again, he is a football coach. That's the job we hired him for. But ultimately, hope the best for Coach T. Let's go to this. Let's go to Jamal. Jamal says facts at Steel Loyal. That's where the run game excels. Steel Loyal. Let me go back to what he says. Steel Loyal says that's what I said. Jamal, trenches in the first 3 rounds. Go up to Ty. Ty says that hat MPJ got on. I didn't see it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see the conference. I will be watching that after we get off the air today. Jamal says, what the fuck is Ryan Clark talking about? He's just pissed about Mike T. But probably. But you know what? That's all right. Facts. Still Loyal says facts. I want that hat. Christophus, my man, says we're going to draft a quarterback in the later rounds, Drew Aller or Carson Beck.
Ugh.
I just want to know, like, and I'm not calling you out, Christmas. I've heard this argument. I just want to know what the logic with that move would be. I just think that how many project. I mean, you're dabbling in Cleveland Brown territory by doing that. How many project quarterbacks can we possibly have? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, again, I don't rule it out either. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But I just don't know what you would do with either one of those guys, or what you would do with Will, or what you would do with just the quarterback situation at that point, Mike. It just seems.
It's almost seems counterproductive at that point, having that many quarterbacks. But new coaching staff, they didn't draft Will Howard. They can say, hey, we like him. They're not going to say, oh, this guy sucks. We can't wait to get in here and draft a new guy. So it could be one of those things where, they see him, they like him, but they might really like or love one of these other quarterbacks in this draft. So you got to remember, Will Howard isn't their guy. They didn't draft him.
Vegas says, what's good, fellas? What's up, Vegas? Always great seeing Vegas from Vegas. What's going on, brother? Also, Bingo, he says, I'm here. We can get started now. Thank you. About time you join the rest of us. Now we can get started, guys. Always great seeing you, Bingo Winchester, my man. Let's scoot up here to Tyrone. Tyrone says, MPJ says he plays outside and slot. Yeah, I think we're really going to enjoy him, Mike. I think we're really going to enjoy Michael Pittman Jr. I truly, honestly do.
Oh, me too. And a hard-nosed player, physical player. I love it. Love it.
Joe, going back to the Ryan Clark comments, analysts like Clark are only thinking about draft picks for the following year, but the players now need the chance to succeed. Try telling them you're tanking for next year. Exactly.
Well,
What kind of toxic locker room would that create?
Well, like if Ryan Clark was still playing and they were like, hey, the team was like, hey, man, we're putting a rookie out here. He'd want to kill the coach.
Exactly.
And it's funny, like where your priorities change from when you're a player and when you're a fan or an analyst.
They saw Heyward in practice and passed on him. Well, did they? I mean,
there's no way Will Heyward was starting last year.
Exactly. I mean, out to come.
They didn't bring in Aaron Rodgers to sit on the bench.
Maybe when he got hurt is when he's talking about. But that one particular game, you have a backup quarterback. That's what that guy was for. At that point, seeing him in practice, I just don't think was enough.
Yeah.
Because it's practice. That's literally no game speed, no anything that you're going to see out on that field. That's why he has to be very, very active, Mike, this summer. Last year, again, getting hurt very early, not getting those opportunities. I'm going to go to right here where Jamal says cut Mason and at least make Will the second quarterback. Steeler Freak says Rooney competitive is Rooney competitive. Tyrone, facts Jamal. Robert right here says there will be 7 quarterbacks go in the first round in 2027. The Steelers can get 1 next year, no matter what, but how many they have to choose from determines what they have to give up for that choice. And you know what? But if this is the quarterback, if this is the quarterback of the future, and again, we won't know unless Will Heyward plays. They might just do that. They might do whatever it takes, Mike, to get positioning in that first round to get one of those guys, because there are a gang. Again, the league is anticipating next year's quarterback class. So the Steelers should be in good shape one way or another. We have to see Will Heyward play. We have to see Will Heyward play this year. That's bottom line.
Oh, yeah. The preseason is going to be huge for him.
Let's go on the board here. Beck would be good competition. Mark Malone is saying. Jamal says Beck is solid. Let me scoot up a little bit further here. I'm going to go to Yinzer Joe. He says Heyward has had no NFL reps or even practice. That would say he's ready if Rodgers doesn't return Rudolph as the quarterback. Unfortunately, if that happens, I'm checking out the season. Let's get to getting Mark Malone getting the A-Rod back as a priority number 1. Just Learning says this. They saw Heyward in practice. They passed on him. It's not too hard to figure out. Somber say it would be a competition. Steeler Freak says Art will make a 10-7 no matter. Art will make a 10-7 no playoff win business decision and not care what the fan base thinks. Why haven't we cut Roman? And you know what? I'm glad we didn't cut Roman. I want him to get his opportunity now. For whatever reason, again, first year he was out all year. Last year was a mystery. I mean, we hear speculation. Some people say this, some people say that. But again, I want to see Roman Wilson get his opportunity to be on the field. Mike, every chance he got, with an exception of that fumble late in the year, I thought he looked just fine, like he could be out there.
Yeah.
As good as Calvin Austin the third or better, I thought.
Yeah, and he's a third-round pick. They're not going to cut him. When you're drafting the first, second, third round, you got leeway. Unless you're totally, completely shitting the bed. And I don't think he has completely shit the bed. And, we need receivers right now. Like the receivers we have on the roster are him, Pittman, DK Metcalf, and Ben Skoranek. We need receivers.
We do need receivers, Mike. I think that this is going to be, again, we're gonna get something nice in the draft. I honestly do believe that, whether it be first round, second round. I think we're gonna get a nice addition there. Add Pittman, DK, maybe give Roman his opportunity. But again, that is certainly a work in progress. Move up here to Steeler Freak. He says, scooting up a little bit, there are some Pitt huggers still giving Pickett excuses. Heyward will get the same treatment. Jamal said, I was here and I saw that comparison to K3. Somber says, imagine buying a Pickett jersey. You know what? If I was going to buy a Pickett jersey, it would definitely be a Pitt Pickett jersey when he was actually played out of his mind. I would never, ever buy a Steeler Pickett jersey, though.
The year we drafted them, I gave my boss a gift card for Christmas, and he was like, this will be perfect. I can use this to go towards a Kenny Pickett jersey. And I thought he was laughing or joking, so I laughed in his face. He's like, no, seriously. I'm going to go buy a Kenny Pickett jersey. I'm like, oh, my God. And then he was like a year and a half later, he's like, yeah, that was a financial decision I kind of regret.
Let's go to Steel Loyal says Roman will be working with his ass off with the route god again. I keep hearing about this route god, Mike. So if anything, we should see an improved Roman Wilson.
I hope.
Let me scoot up a little bit here too. Again, I'm going to scoot up a little bit. Cody says if Will Howard gets injured this year, he is Kenny Pickett. Who will start, Rico or Warren?
Rico.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Sauce, because again, Warren was the starter. He took the position as Najee left, and him and Gainwell split. But technically, Warren was the starter. And again, with Rico coming into town, that's interesting if he does become the starter. But one way or another, it's the running back by a committee. Who the starter is really irrelevant at the end of the day.
Especially when you're running a more or less a two-person system, and both can be third down backs. And I think Dwaddle said it was in the offseason. I think Jalen Warren reached out to him or vice versa just to say, hey, man, I love you. Love the way you play football. I love your game. And they're both here now. And Dwaddle even said in his press conference that he can't wait to work together with Jalen because he said we both can be three down backs. So you never know what's going to happen when one's in there.
This gets a game ball because I think it's funny.
Oh God.
You know what? I'm like Oprah today. I'm
you are. You hand out game balls a lot.
You know what?
You just like handling balls.
I don't hand out game balls a lot, but I am today. I realize that maybe again I'm feeling bad for lost time yesterday. So I just feel like giving everybody a game ball. You get a game ball. You get a game ball. Sommer gets a game ball. Steel Loyal gets a game ball. Hey, sweet honey child. I'm Oprah today, guys. That's right. I am Oprah today on the show. Let me go to right here where Tyrone says this, which is where started this whole conversation. Tyrone says, Cody, when you comment my you make my head injured.
That's a good one.
I thought it was funny, Mike. I don't know. If you didn't think that one deserved a game ball, I don't know what to say. Steeler Freak says, now that Sam Darnold won a ring, teams like Tampa with Mayfield believe they have a real chance. When Mayfield in the right situation, I think could win football games. I think he could win big games and do big things. But again, point taken. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. Let's go to Sommer. Sounds like Dowdle will have the Najee rule. I guess we'll see. Steel Loyal, better vision than Najee, that's for sure. Also, might be better for Warren, to be honest, is what Ty is saying. Steel says, I like Warren as our receiving back. And hopefully we won't be using the backs as receivers as much this year. I mean, it was kind of out of desperation last year. So, granted, KG had 70 catches, but it was necessity. So now maybe getting some actually putting a wide receiver room together, which again, it's insane to me that we went through 2 seasons with that. But anyway, that's a whole other story, a whole other argument, a whole other debate. Let's just say that let's hope that Jalen doesn't catch as much as KG caught last year.
I know, right? That would be
I mean, if being capable is good enough for me. They don't have to prove it to me. We get it.
Yeah, I don't need him to be. I don't need my tailback to be my number one receiver.
Let's go to another one of John's comments right here. Steeler Freak says this: drafting a running back like Caleb Johnson, who never pass protected or had to catch, was a mistake. Sometimes the Steelers make no sense. Tyrone says Rico runs downhill too. Good vision when he gets past linebackers. Good luck. Peace. I like that. Steeler Freak says, I get a headache for $50 on this trip. I get a headache. I'm sorry, for $50 on this trip. Somber says Dowdle is great at pass pro. Isn't great at pass pro either. 2 out of 3 of our backs can't pass protect, and we might have a 42-year-old quarterback. Here we go. 2 Yins vertical. That's right, baby. We vertical and we horizontal today. Mark Malone. I get the vertical one sometimes. Ryan takes it horizontally, is what John is saying. Tyrone says Derpy was in the chat. Diabolical said he wants Fields and Anthony Richardson. Derpy was in the chat. Diabolical said he wants Fields and Richardson. That's from Ty. Let's do scoot up a little bit here. Yinzer Joe dropping a turd off of a Browns fan makes no sense. LOL. Taterd has to get on with the bandwagon before that can happen. Let's go to this. Steeler Freak says more teams will take free agent quarterback risks and pay more with the extra cap space from the new cable contracts because college has been disappointing with the quarterback production. This year is a great example of the quarterback issue. Jamal says, damn, didn't know about Nick. Shaking my head. He's not nearly in on as many plays as PQ. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I would have known that.
I know like he's had like sometimes like he'll get back to the quarterback and whiff. So I just did a little searching, and that was surprising, like how many tackles he actually misses.
Jamal says Omar's cooking with fish grease. Let's go to Somber in the league, most missed tackles in the entire league. Steel Loyal says Greece is a beautiful place. Of course, talking about the country, Greece. Let's go to Jamal says LOL, heard it stinks. That's Europe. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's go to Ty. Ty says I hate autocorrect. Steel Loyal says laugh my ass off. He wants Beck the Sloth. Wherever Beck the Sloth goes, it's going to be interesting just because of his face. I mean, he's going to be talked about for some time. I know he certainly will be talked about here on this show no matter where he ends up going.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But I'm just not a big fan of that fish-eyed fool.
Oh, fish-eyed fool. Robert says Wilson and Queen have a lot of similarities, but I think Wilson is better and far less money. PQ is likely gone after this year. If we keep him, trade him, and draft one of the, you know what? That's what I think exactly is going to happen. He has this year in his contract. They don't want to create this extra hole this year, Mike, as we are trying to fill all the problems that were topical, obviously. And listen, Patrick Queen is next level topical. Don't get me wrong, but Mike, I just think right now they're going to take care of the guards, the receivers, the defensive backfield, the things that were just gleaming.
Yeah.
And I do think that after this year, because again, he does still have a year on his contract, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, Mike, if Patrick Queen does move on, go elsewhere, and then we could tackle that linebacker position next offseason. If we can, if we could pull that off, let's say Patrick Queen has the best season, Mike, that he had here since he's been here, that would be beneficial for the Steelers. Maybe he might want to do that again, trying to go out and earn a contract the following season on his last year here. I think could definitely be a possibility.
Yeah, and don't forget, Rooney wants to be competitive, and they're not going to let a starter walk out the door that's under contract like that. It's not going to happen. As much as we may want it to, it's not going to happen.
That was Robert on that comment. Let me go with the Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says Cole Holcomb was really good the first year we got him. I think like Bush, his injury slowed him down a bit, but I think he'll get back to where he came from hopefully soon. See, he was always just a problem for me in a sense that he has a lot of injuries. I know when he was with Washington, he dealt with his major injuries with his knees, correct, Mike?
It was what? Knee and ankle it went down to, or Achilles. I know it was bad, like back-to-back years.
So I recall him being he's tough. He's a thumper, not the biggest guy in the world, but anyway, he's serviceable. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, if he could come through and not be injured, we'll be fine. But Mike, it was right out the cut. I mean, it was pretty immediate. He had an injury when he came here. He was out the whole entire season. I just don't. Again, can you place him in that spot to play? Yes. Can you depend on him week after week for 17 weeks? We don't know that. I think it's a crapshoot because, again, with the exception of last year, he stayed relatively healthy. But anything prior to that, Mike, he has had a lot of injury issues.
Yeah, because 2022, from weeks 12 through 18, he was out with a foot injury with Washington. Then he comes to Pittsburgh, then weeks 10 through 18, out through it with a knee. And then 2024, a knee. And so he hasn't played a lot of football recently.
No.
And that, knee injuries, man, you're going to lose that speed. And he was able to move around the field. He was able to play the run, play the pass, and his skill set is diminishing as he gets older. He's becoming more of just a backup kind of guy, a rotational kind of guy, not a number one starter guy.
Let's get to Jamal, where he says, laugh my ass off both sidelines at the same time. Game ball to Ryan. England yuck. This is what Cody's saying. Phooey, yuck. England, nah. Jamal says Beck looks like his face is melting off.
Like he chose the wrong cup in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes. Somber says didn't really see much of Holcomb after they brought Harrison in. And Malik Harrison, I mean, he's he's still hanging in there, Mike, whether we bring him in on something small just to keep a body, which we very well may. Of course, I just thought of his name and just now, Mike, Malik Harrison certainly hasn't been bouncing around my head often. Somers finishes up by saying, I wish it was the opposite, though. But Malik Harrison's still an option, Mike. We could, like I said, probably pay him peanuts, keep him around. And
he's still under contract.
Is
Harrison. He? Yeah, Malik Harrison. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was on free agent.
Nope. No, it was a 2-year deal last year.
See, Steel Loyal says this, Mike. Carson Beck's eyeballs are fake. They are AI. He has AI balls. John says this, football team are like chicks and look for the fixer-upper challenge. Steeler Freak said the Beastie Boys showed 3 white Jewish guys can wreck the rap world only in America, baby. Tyrone says Titans release Sheed.
Or Sneed.
I was going to say, who's Sheed?
It's Legarius Sneed.
Okay.
And talk about like someone whose plays dropped off ever since he went to the Titans, man. He went from one of the best corners in the league to being absolute dog water.
Let's go to John. Steeler Freak says this: reporters are in the media were looking for something to spin. He gave them nothing. Follows it up by saying Tater is the only Irish guy not invited to the gala.
And I assume our invitations were lost in the mail.
Yeah. And I assume that they didn't want to step around dog shit all night as far as Tater went. Pittman was on the McAfee show. Let's see. Cody says maybe Tater lives in Greece. Maybe. Who knows when it comes to Europe? Who knows what the hell's going on over there? You could walk across the street and be in different countries. So I don't know what the hell goes on over there. Mark Malone says as many as it takes. Follows it up by saying you'll know what you've got within a year. Quarterbacks, I think he's referring to. Aaron Jade, here we go. Steelers, there he is. Tortilla says Cleveland doesn't have protect quarterbacks. They got slum quarterbacks. Mark Malone, increase your odds, man. Again, this goes back to the keep drafting quarterbacks. And then I said, what's the sense of having another quarterback? This is the responses to it. Tyrone says, man, I'm happy with the new guys. I am too. As Mark Malone says, he is as well, Mike. So far in this offseason, are you happy with everything that you've seen so far? I mean, again, coaching staff, free agency. We still got the draft coming up in 41 days. Are you happy with what's going on in this offseason so far?
Yeah. Yeah, because I know you can't fix everything in 5 days of free agency. So, yeah, I'm happy with the moves that they're making right now. Tackling obvious areas of need that they're able to get filled immediately, and the other areas of needs usually take a little longer to get. Linemen, usually it's the second, third week you start seeing more and more of those guys come off the boards because the market is finally set for that level of guard talent that's left. Tackle, I think, won't be addressing free agency. I was hoping we'd take a look at someone, but we didn't. It's looking like it's Dylan Cook's job to lose. I'm liking what they're doing. They haven't done anything that made me go, what the fuck what are we doing? I haven't crashed out the way Derpy crashes out in our group chat when anytime any player that he falls in love with signs elsewhere. But no, I'm liking what they're doing. It makes sense. You can see they've been following the philosophy that they started ever with the Weed Con era of build through the draft, address areas in free agency, remain competitive because that's what the boss wants, and set yourself up for success. And that's what they're doing.
This was the grades, Mike, as of yesterday. I did want to read this off yesterday. I didn't get the opportunity. These were the free agency grades of the teams around the NFL as of yesterday, Mike. They are saying the Pittsburgh Steelers graded second amongst 32 teams in free agency this year. Number one being the Rams with an A. The Steelers an A-, tied with the Tennessee Titans, Mike. They're saying that they are an A- in free agency. B plus goes to the New England Patriots and the Raiders. Of course, Mike, the Raiders making mad moves, bringing in mad people this year. Not surprising to me. Buffalo Bills get a B this year's free agency. Again, this was as of yesterday. Some moves happened since then, but this is as of yesterday. Also getting straight Bs, Mike. No pluses, no minuses. Or the Jets, the Browns, the Commanders, the Bears, the Saints, and the 49ers. They all get Bs in free agency, Mike. B minuses go to the Ravens, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Panthers, and the Cardinals. C plus Detroit. C, Miami and Indianapolis. C minuses, Houston, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Packers, the Falcons, the Buccaneers, and the Seahawks. D plus, Mike, the Chiefs. D, Vikings and Jaguars. And the team that did the worst as of yesterday with a D minus, the Denver Broncos in free agency this year.
How did the Ravens get a B?
Because they got out of a terrible deal.
Maybe that might be the only thing that makes sense for that right there, because that's a head scratcher for me.
Because at the beginning of the week, I would have given them an F, at least a D something. But getting out of that, like it or not, call it Bush League, whatever you want to say, Mike. It worked out best for the Baltimore Ravens ultimately because
it did.
They were stuck with that headache and it didn't work out. And you give up 2 first-round picks.
Exactly. Damn, that was that's still a head scratcher that they were rated at a B or B minus, whatever it was. But yeah, like the Steelers, I'm thinking they're having a really, really good free agency period.
I am too, Mike. And again, as far as these grades, particular grades, we don't go by, what people are telling us in these grades. However, we do know that this has been good and it adds up, Mike. It all lines up to what is being said with the grades. So, you know what? We'll take it. I got to be honest with you. We have been improving, Mike. And even some of these other positions where we wanted Kenneth Walker III, we're finding out that Dowdle is actually a better pickup for a team like us and what we're going to pay and just the production overall. So at the end of the day, Mike, free agency has been a success. This is what you want to see from what we were waiting for as the season ended, and we were hoping to improve and make the moves we needed to make to improve in certain areas. So far, so good. We still got to draft the guys in just 41 days right here in Pittsburgh, PA. Again, J-Ram news is going to be due here within the next hour and 38 minutes. Other players, Mike, we do know yesterday, if you're just tuning in, Connor Heyward to the Raiders, Miles Killebrew to the Buccaneers, Calvin Austin III to the New York Giants, and also, Mike, coming in, Jaquan Brisker, a hometown guy, Mike, from Gateway High School right here in the City League, and also Penn State grad, and him and JPJ, Mike. Also, again, the connections. He was also right here in North Allegheny, Penn State. So again, these guys are gonna. I think they're gonna get along really well. And a lot of times in the secondary, communication is key. And these two guys don't seem like they would have any problem in that area.
I would hope not. You played like 3 or 4 years together at Penn State. I think they overlapped for 3. There should be no miscommunications between those two whatsoever.
Let's get back on the board here, guys. We have Mark Melendez, Roman in the Fry Daddy's usage was. That's what I'm saying. I want to see them guys both play this year. Again, just because Fry Daddy, until Aaron got here, was generally productive, certainly his first 2-3 seasons. And then once the quarterback situation started getting a little bit more sketchy, it wasn't as good. And then last year, Aaron just decided not to use him, or coach decided not to use him, or however it went. OC decided not to use him. I think that Pat Freiermuth, if he's going to be on the team, he's got to be used. He's just, again, if he's going to be on the team, he should not be standing on the sideline.
That type of weapon in the middle of the field needs to be targeted.
Absolutely. When you need production in the middle of the field, you might want to throw it to the guy that's good in the middle of the field, not have him on the sideline. That's all I'm saying.
About 7 targets a game wouldn't be too bad.
Right. Let's get to Tater.
Do we
against
have
my
to?
better judgment? Tater says this: will the Piss Pukers score a touchdown? we beat the division. We went 4-2 in the division. How did the Browns finish last year?
Yeah.
Let's go to Steel Loyal. Tater, do you remember the first Browns versus Steelers game last year? Or most of every Steeler Browns game in the history of the rivalry? We whooped y'all. That is what Steel Loyal is saying. Tater says, yes, you were lucky. You were lucky. We were lucky that game, apparently.
Lucky.
Like all the other times we beat Cleveland, I guess. Laugh my ass off. Steel Loyal says, yeah, it was luck. D-Waddle, tortilla. D-Waddle. Also, Squeech says this. We'll see. Tomlin was historically known for getting embarrassed against bottom 5 teams. Squeech says 3-and-outs were killing us. For show. Steel Loyal says check under your seat and you'll find a brand new game ball. There you go, everybody. Look under your seats right now. You will find a brand new game ball. I like that. Squeege also says this. Don't even get me started on the quarterbacks Pitt lost during his tenure. Let's go to Somber. Somber says, I put Roman Route God video in your Discord in the Steelers Talk channel. If y'all want to watch, I will. I'll check that out later. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's go to Steel Loyal. Says it's worth the watch. Vegas says you guys see those Holly weird people with the Ozempic neck now. It's hilarious. They look weird. I heard something about this. I didn't look into it or pay attention, but I heard Ozempic. I certainly know that over the past couple of days.
Sign me up for some Ozempic neck.
What is Ozempic? Is that the
It's the weight loss drug.
Weight loss drug. Gotcha. Will Howard MVP. Tater Tard. Squeech said random question. You guys from Pittsburgh? Not asking location. If not, we are. Yes, absolutely. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says Sanders Pro Bowler Watson massage therapist in the Gabriel on the bench. Dylan Gabriel sure got lost in the mix all of a sudden, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He got lost in the shuffle.
He was the guy. They picked him to be the starter, Mike, and then Shador came in, and now they're talking about drafting more quarterbacks. So I guess the Gabriel didn't work out. I guess
no, it did not.
Christopher says, guys, it's Friday the 13th. No Debbie Downers allowed. Watch your favorite horror movies and chill out. Bram Stoker's Dracula is my favorite.
Oh, the movie is a classic. I
just like it because you could call it Bram Stoker's. I don't know.
You've been talking a lot of balls and a lot of stroking. What were you doing yesterday?
Hey,
was that the emergency yesterday? You had to go on an epic goon session.
Maybe. Mark Malone says we need Beck and Dunker. Steel Loyal talking about the Michigan-Ohio State game. Is that what's going on? 68-67. That was a while ago, though. Tyrone says Steelers fourth in least guaranteed money spent in first week of free agency. Omar, guys, Omar, is he getting a passing grade from you in his first couple seasons here?
Yeah,
because it was up and then it was down. It's like the stock market with Omar Khan, Mike. Where are you now? Give Omar Khan a grade, A, B, C, D, or F. Where do you think he sits right now, just in general, as the general manager of the Steelers after 3 seasons making the call?
Yeah, three seasons making the call. I'm going to go with B+. You're coming into a situation where you probably should have been tearing things down, but you've been told to keep it going and rebuild at the same time. Had some misses, obviously. Every GM is going to have that, but I think he's had a whole hell of a lot more hits than misses.
I see on the board, I see Roberts giving a B+. I see Jamal's giving a B+ as well. I can't be disappointed because, Mike, this guy he's active. Yeah. He's not afraid to pull the trigger. He goes out and gets guys. He makes moves. Anything that we've seen in the past from most of our GMs, Mike, it's been very conservative. I think Omar Khan, whether being by design or just how he is able to stay up with the league, Mike, and keep up with the league. And I think that's important. I think we lost some leeway in that area. I'm happy with him, Mike. I give him something in the B's as well. Again, he's like the stock market. Sometimes you're like, oh, what was that? Yeah. What was this? What was that? But at the end of the day, Mike, he tries. This guy brings in big names to Pittsburgh. I mean, come on. Pittsburgh is not a team in the past I would have ever thought of Michael Pittman would have came to. Patrick Queen would have came to. Guys with big names that always just kind of eluded Pittsburgh ultimately. He goes out and gets some of these players, Mike, and if they could be difference makers, that's a lot to say about Omar Khan and what he does. I give him a B something as well. It might be a B plus. It might be a B. I don't know. It's definitely a B.
Yeah, it's in there too. And from the get-go, when he had the reins and the moves that he started making, Kevin Colbert never would have done any of this.
I agree.
We'd be seeing like our big free agent signings outside of what the 1 year when he got James Farrier, excuse me, the big signings were in that Sean Avery type situations,
Right.
or like some linebacker that you've heard of that had minimal success somewhere, and that's going to be the guy that come in to replace Ryan Shazier. Those would be the moves. Like Omar Khan's trying. He is going out there and, like, hey, okay, we have a mandate to try and win. I'm going to go out and plug it in with these guys here while we rebuild the youth on the talent. Yeah, you might bring in some older guys, but you have the younger guys right below them getting ready. By the time they're ready to start, those old guys are gone, and these guys should be hitting their stride right now. And so that's what he's trying to do. Broderick Jones looking like a whiff. But in that same draft class, that very next pick, Joey Porter Jr. is looking like he's going to be an all-pro one day. Then the next draft, you get 3/5 of your offensive linemen, where one of them, your center, is already being talked about as a top 3 center in the league and an all-pro. Not bad back-to-back drafts.
And also, Mike, in Tater Tartar, in his schneid European way, this last comment he just put up, big names. Yes, DK Metcalf would have never been a Steeler any time in my life. Jalen Ramsey would have never been a Steeler in my life.
Michael Pittman,
Patrick Queen. I mean, these names, listen, the way the Steelers traditionally ran things was next in line. It didn't matter if you knew who they were, whoever was behind you, whoever came in via draft, maybe some spotty free agent moves in the offseason. But Mike, I like this. Again, it catches you up with the rest of the league in a sense. And this is kind of what you got to do. You got to keep up. Otherwise, you kind of what's been happening to us. And again, I'm not going to blame this on any particular player, coach, GM, or whatever. But again, it really feels like we're finally starting to move forward in some ways that we weren't for quite some time.
Yeah, and the organizational philosophy for the longest time was that draft, develop, don't sign free agents.
Right.
And
we'd say you're so jealous. Wow, this guy gets to go here. These guys get him. Why don't we ever get anybody like this, huh?
And then we would always get wait and get that third, fourth wave of free agents.
Right.
Like that works when you can consistently draft great players 1st through 7th round. But once you start to miss the way Latta era Kevin Colbert did, you can no longer rely on those draft picks to come in and fill your spots. You had to bring in from the outside, and that's something he wouldn't do. That's something Rooney wouldn't do. And it seems like when Khan and Weedle were hired, it's like, hey, you got to let us do our thing. You got to let us get this modernized. And every year you can see they're falling more and more in line with the rest of the NFL, not being afraid to sign guys, not being afraid to trade for guys that are in the last year of their contract and then extend them for a couple years. And the key thing about all these contracts, go in and look at them. Within 2 years, 3 years at most, these guys can be off the roster and you're free and clear. To where if they make a mistake, they can correct that mistake quickly.
Let's jump back on the board here. Let's go to Robert. He says, Mike, this is the year to draft a middle linebacker. Sorry. Plug and play, move Queen now, and you have money for a vet guard to be our starter.
You're going to get one in what round, 1st or 2nd? Now you got other – that's just another hole you have to fill.
Yeah, you're going to push your offensive lineman back. You're going to push another wide receiver back.
There's a why make a hole? I have to fill the hole, and now you have 2 or 3 other holes that you haven't filled because you had to fill that one.
And again, with the year on his contract, I think that they're going to let this one play out ultimately. I do. Let's go to Mark Malone. He says, Beck is the Terminator, man. Tyrone Sneed. No, you're good, brother. We got it. It was all good, man. Tortilla, 3 Jewish white guys. Man, the 3 blind mice story has really changed. Michigan won. All right, Michigan won the game today. Vegas says, my dog gets clean cold water. F Michigan Ty is saying. That's right, Ty is the Ohio State fan. I forgot about that. Ty says we finna beat Houston tonight. Let me scoot up here a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Let's go right here. Somberson's bro thought this was his work group chat. Bought Cody showed up, is what Vegas is saying. Robert says the Steelers haven't lost much, and some of the additions like cornerback, safety, wide receiver, and running backs are very big upgrade. I couldn't agree with you more. Again, with the numbers, but to be fair, as far as Gainwell goes, Mike, he did do the split roles with Jalen Warren. So the numbers that you see Dowdle getting in Carolina, you're probably not going to see in Pittsburgh just because they are running back by committee.
Yeah.
So again, he had more rushing yards, more touchdowns than the Super Bowl MVP. That's a plus, Dowdle. But again, the numbers in Carolina, I think it's going to be less, obviously, with Jalen Warren doing half the work. Let's go to, and also, but you're right at the other positions. Michael Pittman, anybody would have been an upgrade at wide receiver. Putting somebody in a position is an upgrade because we had nothing. So I agree with Michael Pittman 100%. Mike, the safeties and the cornerbacks as well. You got to love these additions that's going back in the secondary. But again, you got to remember, we were super excited about the secondary last year too. So Darius Slay didn't seem bad at the time. He ended up being to the point where we cut him.
He got worse as the season went on.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me scoot up a little bit more. Cody said, someone tell you something in the middle of other shit like I'm going to remember that. Laughed my ass off. Derpy's turkey neck. John
Derpy
says Derpy's turkey neck.
All right, that's it. I'm mutant Steeler freak for a day.
Tater Tard says Gabriel is better than Howard. I don't know about that. Let's go to Tater Goons to Shador. Love B minus. Tater gives Omar Khan a D because the Browns are doing so great over there.
I know, right?
Jamal says shut up to Tater. You know what? As simple, Mike, as simple as that is, I'm throwing Jamal a game ball just for telling Tater to shut up.
You are just handing out game balls left
Jamal,
and right.
Game ball for you. Let's see. Vegas says he gets an incomplete on wide receiver. Grad also. Steeler says Omar is Uncle Fester with a tan. He does kind of have that Uncle Fester thing going on. He gets like the black rings under his eyes and the head. Come on. I see a little Addams Family talk coming up here. Jamal says the new one from Wednesday or the one from the Addams Family movies, John. Let's see what John says about that when we get to it. Jamal does go on to say the old one from the movies is Doc from Back to the Future.
Yep. Christopher Lloyd.
Tortilla Omar hasn't slept since he got hired there. I got to be honest. I'm happy. I'm happy with Omar, especially Mike, just the way that he's changing the way that we do things.
Yeah.
And again, whether by design or it's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
No, it's needed. Whoever came in as GM and assistant GM had to force a change in the front office, had to be like, hey, listen, this is what we need to do to get this team back to the state that we all know and love the team to be. It's going to be a process, and it has been a process, but the roster's moving in the right direction. Now with the new coaching staff and continuing to, and it seems like they're still laying the same foundation and the same philosophy of building the team. Now it's just getting their players that they want. And feels like it's going in the right direction. But you never know until they step between the white lines. Were these good moves or not? So we'll find out here in a couple months.
Vegas says, I hate Colbert's hairline. Just go bald already, he says. Damn it. Tater. Big names. Yeah, because Cleveland got a bunch of big names. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says his hairline looked like one of those public bathroom paper toilet seat covers.
That is great.
That was good. Let's see. Jamal says, my kids tell me that every day at Vegas. Oh no, about what, the hairline? Tater says this because our offensive line sucked. Numpty. There's that Numpty, Mike. Remember I brought that up off the air one day. I said, what is that Numpty that Tater's always saying? That must be a European thing, Numpty.
Yeah, Numpty.
Yeah, Numpty. You bloody Numpty. Tyrone says, what big names you got besides Garrett, which you drafted? Exactly. Jamal says, shut up to Tater again. That's double game ball for Jamal. Brown's wagon. Judge Judy. Come on, Judge Judy. Vegas says, just do it or grow it back out and look like a bowling ball in a hula skirt like Gallagher used to say about himself. Gallagher was the man.
Sludge-o-matic.
Jamal says, what's a brown anyways? Mexican, LOL. Ty says, Judy, want no smoke with 24. You know that, Tater. Also, John says, Jamal, I guess both. I do think Wednesday is hot, so I watched the new one. I gotta check this out because Wednesday used to be creepy when I was a kid. I don't know anything about these newer movies and new shows. I gotta check out this Wednesday. Everyone's saying she's hot. Jamal says this. She was not anymore, bro. John, you seen her lately? Bitch look like Ariana Grande, who I do know is getting very skinny. Like Ariana Grande's good looking girl, but she's like way skinny, like way skinny, isn't she? Cody says Omar is the Mexican or Attila the Hun, way less cool version of Vanilla Thunder, or if you want to call him by his rap name, Vanilla Roll.
Man, that's fucked up.
I did like that.
Vanilla Roll.
Let's move on here to Vegas. You'll even look younger. There it is, guys.
Yep.
There it is. And that was sent in by Steel Loyal. Steel Loyal, of course. Look at him.
I was showing more people at that picture at work today, and they were all fucking dying.
It's great. Let's go to Mark Collins. I do want to say welcome to Mark. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. This is what Mark Collins says. There is 2 positions we need to get today before the draft. We need to go get Rasheed Walker, left tackle. We need to go get left guard. Facts. Becton guard. Jenkins. Teller, we need a left guard. And Mike, that was my prediction. We were talking yesterday briefly before I took off. I know that if they handle that guard position in free agency, that was where I was saying. I said, if we make any big moves between here and the way out, anything that's going to affect the starting position, which I obviously missed on the Brisker, but I think if they could get a left guard and even improve the left tackle situation. Again, I know we've had this conversation early on the show. Then you could kind of go into the draft, worry about getting your receiver. You could get the highest talented receiver you could get at that point in the draft, and then you could start to really with some wiggle room, look at all your positions, Mike. Look at your needs. But again, with needing those 2 positions, I'm afraid they might grab a left guard in the first round of the draft. And again, not popular, not sexy, but necessary.
Yeah, very, very necessary. And like sometimes those unsexy picks turn out to be the right move.
I know.
And last year we were all bemoaning, or a lot of people were bemoaning Derek Harbin in the first round, but that's looking like that pick right there is going to pay dividends for years to come. And so a left guard might not be a bad choice.
You're right. I mean, if he's like Zach Frazier, I mean, nobody wants to waste their picks on linemen sometime. But at the end of the day, when you look at the product, you're like, okay, we don't ever have to worry about this. We're not gonna have to worry about center for years. That's a good thing. So, maybe that might be the case. But again, going to be interesting to see if we tackle, as Mark Collins is saying on the terrible board, that left guard position sometime here in the next 41 days as the draft coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in just 41 days. Let me go to Jamal. He says, I'm going to go into Pitt and to smoke a bowl with Ryan. So, dude, anytime. We'll smoke many bowls. We'll smoke many blunts whenever you want, man. Let's go to Tater. He says, just wait and see. That's all I'm saying. We can say the same thing to you too, Tater. As talking to a Browns fan, I'm pretty confident deflecting that comment back right at you. Steeler Freak says, Mike's True calling for work is pimp. Mike True calling for work. Oh, it's pimp.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Jamal says, Black Cody. Vegas says, is Vanilla Thunder going to have to choke a bitch, Mike?
Yes. And that bitch is named Derpy.
Let's go to Ty says, yeah, and I'll wait for your team to win 5 games this year, as that's usually the ceiling for the Cleveland Browns. Not even a tie. That is Jamal. Jamal says, just say no, Cody. Matt also comes back on the board like Matt Collins and says this: we should kick tires on cornerback Greg Newsome for backup. What's your thoughts on that, Mike? Interesting call. Interesting take.
I thought he signed.
Did he?
If I'm not mistaken, I thought he. God damn it, Greg Newsome. Here we go. Pulling it up now. It looks like he was to the Giants, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, he signed with the Giants.
So there's another name that the Giants picked up, Mike. A lot of work for that Giants team. Watch them this year.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to be a star for a long time when he was up there in Cleveland, and they shipped him off to Jacksonville last year, and then now he's headed up to the Giants.
Let me just jump in real quick on this one. It's more recent. Vegas. Tater Tart says this: piss pukers and ratbirds embarrass the AFC North every year in the playoffs. Time to move over because our eight Super Bowl wins between the two teams is terrible compared to the Browns and Bengals 0. So yeah, keep drinking the Kool-Aid, son. Let's move on to Robert says this: Newsome is on the Giants now. That's what Vegas' response was. Robert says Queen is redundant as far as playing style, but not as good as Wilson. Queen is subpar as a middle linebacker. It would not be much of a loss at all. Queen isn't good. Vegas, Newsome 1 year, $10 million with the Giants. Mark Malone, that picture of Mike yesterday with all the tattoos looked exactly like Bam Bam Bigelow. Mike, I never thought of that, but yes, he did look like Bam Bam Bigelow.
I wish I was athletic as big as Bam Bam Bigelow wasn't in his prime. That dude could move, him and Vader.
Well, he was one of his most classic matches. One of his most classic. And yes, he was in WWE, WWF, WCW. But in ECW, Mike, there was a classic match with him between Shane Douglas, the franchise, who literally lives about 6 minutes behind me, right here in our county. Mike, we have a dome at our community college, and one of the most classic matches with Bam Bam Bigelow was between Bam Bam and the franchise. And you could go on and find very easily on YouTube, and it was at the dome. And it's really cool because they get outside. And I think Shane Douglas's arm sliced open and there was blood everywhere. One of the most memorable Bam Bam Bigelow matches that I've ever seen. And again, being right here against the franchise was really cool. But Mike, you do have the Bam Bam Bigelow thing going on.
I can dig it.
Mark Collins says that is a nice pickup for the Giants. I do agree. Jamal says Christina Riccio was the sexiest Wednesday. All right, I know that name. Patrick Queen is a bum. Mark Collins. Christopher says Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels. I am team toaster strudels. That's a good question. I think Pop-Tarts, but that's not because I don't know if I've ever had toaster strudel. I'll have to try.
I love me a good toaster strudel. Much better than Pop-Tarts.
I'll try it out. Fucking Bam Bam Bigelow. Mark Malone says he's still alive. Bam Bam Bigelow, haven't seen him since Major Pain. I think he's dead.
Major Pain.
Major Pain. When was that? 90?
Oh.
Damon Wayans, right?
Damon Wayans.
Vegas says they now have Girl Scout Mint Fit Pop-Tarts. Man. Robert says Grande and a bunch in Hollywood have been badly hurt by GL1 weight loss drugs. The lawsuits of those types of drugs are going to be epic. I wouldn't take any of them if they paid me $1 million in cash. Give
me some of that shit, man. Inject it into my
Mike says I could take the weight loss and the money. Give me where that.
Yeah, that's a win-win right there, boys.
Let's see. Mark Malone says that Jamal, they say he died in 2007. Yes, Bam Bam Bigelow he's passed away. Also, Christopher says, for real, Vega. Vegas says this: the answer to the question will tell you about your neighborhood. Did you play Kill the Man or Smear the Queer all day?
That's what we played.
I never even heard of Kill the Man.
Me either.
And you immediately threw it to the kid that didn't want to be tackled. That was the very first. That was the first move. And then he throws the ball up in the air, and then you could really start playing because he doesn't want to be tackled. But yeah, Smear the Queer was certainly. That was the move. Vegas says yes. I had to get some. Tater. We did get that one. Vegas, I'm sorry, John. John says Vegas, not good news. They will give me 10 pounds. I was looking at Thin Mint cookies yesterday. That's got to be coming around, right? Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, and Thin Mint. It's like eating chalk.
Ty says, yeah, he signed. Christopher says, was it fire? Vegas. Vegas says the raisins are actually the Browns. Let's go to John. John says Thin Mints, weed, and milk with a porno twist. You are talking my language. Let's go to Vegas. Are you a troll? That's what Tater's saying. Vegas. Vegas is an OG, man. He's been here for a minute. Jamal says Mankind. That was the dude when it came to hardcore matches. No two ways about that.
Yeah. Mick Foley, baby.
Remember when Undertaker threw him off that cage in Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh.
That
right through the Spanish announce table.
Yes, it was thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell, and he came down and he had a tooth in his nostril, and he had a tooth coming through his below his lip line here. Talking about a beast, man.
By God, King, they killed him.
They did it.
He's dead.
He's
dead.
King of the Ring, something like that. It was at Civic Arena right here in the Berg. Vegas says, to Tater, you didn't know the Browns moved to Baltimore? Tater says, I know all the history. And that's what makes it worse. The fact that Tater says he knows all the Browns history.
And still went with them.
That really makes me, that's a head scratcher right there. Let's scoot along here a little bit. Black Magic. Jamal says, this got to try the toaster strudel. It's the best. I will try it. I never thought twice about it. I just kind of assumed they were all the same thing. And I just generally don't have Pop-Tarts in the house. So I will try the toaster strudel. Somber says, I'm about to order a case. A case. It must be delicious. Online, he says, GSC are like crack, I assume. Jamal says, damn, that was in Pittsburgh. Best cage. Yes, it was in Pittsburgh, man. Shane is nuts too. Absolutely. Shane was wild. You know what? For being the son of the owner, or are you talking about Troy Martin, Shane Douglas? Yeah, Shane franchise was really badass. But even with Shane McMahon, he was always good, like in hardcore type matches as well.
Yeah, he did not give a fuck.
But Shane Douglas, we have an early episode actually. If you look down through the catalog, maybe second episode, we have Shane Douglas right here on the show, the franchise. Matter of fact, Mike, I see him all the time. I see him at the grocery store.
Yeah,
he's always just standing in the middle of the aisle looking at his coupons.
He's an old man. That's an old man activity.
Yeah.
He's an old man. Let him be an old man.
I have to go around. There's sometimes I have to go around. I'm like, hey, Troy. His real name is Troy, and we'll say hi. But I see him often down there. Vegas says 0 rings, 1 Madden cover. That's the Browns. Robert says the way that GI1 weight loss drugs have damaged people with quick weight loss takes off 10 plus years off of their lives. If you stop taking them, people gain back all the weight and then some. How long is the show? We're getting ready to get into we're rounding third right now. I do believe it can vary. Some days 2 hours, some days 2.5, some days 3, some days 1. Yesterday was just 1. Let's go to Shane was the WWF version of Eric Bischoff. Yeah, he was a beast, dude. Shane, he was in the WWF early. Then he went to the WCW, and then he went to ECW. Then he came back to the WCW. He was very involved. The franchise he was tough, man. Always. He graduated from right here, from right in the town that I sit right at this very moment. Shane Douglas lives, like I said, about 6 minutes up the road. Mike, we did get caught up on the board, which I'm thankful for. Unfortunately, I didn't get every single message, which I like to do. But it's frenzy week. It is free agency frenzy, Mike, and it didn't surprise me that the board will be hitting like this all week long, guys. And I want to say thank you so much. You guys have just been amazing. And again, I do. I like to get as much into as much as I possibly can. Christopher says, I'm going to grab a couple more, Mike, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. Christopher says, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and Dutch Mantel were my favorite, but the Road Warriors were my favorite tag team. I think
what
ultimately,
a rush.
I think at the end of the day, who would your favorite wrestler have been? I think it's easy to say people like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think it's easy to say people like, just the big names, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock. But when it came down to it, my favorite wrestler Triple H. I always liked
The
Triple H.
game.
And even before he was the game, even when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, yeah, that whole thing.
Dude, how about when he was terrorizing?
Terrorizing, yes, absolutely. I was just watching one of his terrorizing matches the other day, to be honest with you. But Triple H was my dude. He was a perfect villain. Plus, he was a funny face as well. Even when he wasn't a heel and he was a face, he was still as entertaining, I thought, on the good side that he was on the bad. Martin Malone said the Macho Man. The Macho Man's a great one as well. Junkyard Dog, JYD. John is saying.
Oh God. What? Coco Beware.
Coco Beware.
I loved Coco Beware when I was younger.
Vegas is talking to I have to get these last couple ones because it's kind of funny how this plays out. Tater Tart says Madden cover. Well, what a stupid comment. Vegas says Shane jumped off those things like he was a jobber. F that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Jamal, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, absolutely. And being a Texas guy, I could see how everyone would just love Stone Cold down there. Let's go to Steeler Freak. He says we need a draft marathon. Winner takes all. Who could stay on the podcast the longest? I think he's just talking about
that guy over there.
Is he talking about the name, or is he talking about us, or like the names on the border? I don't know.
I don't know.
I could probably do this for days.
You could.
I'll just continue to urinate myself
because you're well rested before the show. I've already put in a full day's work.
That's true.
We're in different schedules here, boys.
That's true. Vegas says, all the Browns history. Robert says Art Modell pulled off a midnight move. Cleveland and Baltimore, one bad place to another, but made big bucks. Paul Brown would have turned over in his grave. And then Vegas ends out saying 3 10-win seasons since 95. And you got to remember this as well, Vegas. It wasn't even a 95. It was 99 because this ain't even the same team. This is the expansion team.
We got the we got the best comment ever.
Chris Benoit. He was a killer wrestler. Yes.
God damn it, Vegas.
It is sad. Let me hear. Coco Beware, Randy Orton's a go. A lot of people like Randy Orton. That's true. Tater says Warrior squashed H and 10. So you realize it's fake, right? Tater's a little Tater.
He probably doesn't know it's scripted.
All right, let me move on. Bill Goldberg. He was a classic, absolutely, and certainly in the beginning of his run in WCW in the late 90s with that streak. Scott Steiner, dude.
You got a 33 to 30% chance of winning.
What?
He had this big ass promo. I think it was like in TNA. He was doing Steiner math and how like the odds are not in someone's favor, and he did all this fucking arithmetic, and it worked out to be you got a 33 and a third % chance of winning at sacrifice or some shit like that. And the math, people broke down the math, and it works out. Dude's a fucking nut. I loved it.
Who said that?
Scott Steiner. He cut this long ass promo. You got to go find it.
He's dumb as hell. What are you talking about math? You kidding me?
Yeah, Scott Steiner's great.
That guy. I mean, he's awesome. He's built, but geez, oh man, I never really took him as much smarter than the average Rock, to be honest with you. That's just, hey, let me move on. Jamal says this, man, sad to see how he went out. Chris Benoit, and that was terrible, especially with the kid. If you want to take yourself out, that's one thing. John says marathon podcast so you can stay on the chat the longest. The chat. X-Pac. And X-Pac was wild too, man, because he was kind of annoying in a way, and he wasn't really cool, but hanging out with the guys in DX, it made him cool. Tyrone says, I'm about to be off. Thank the Lord. Hey, good for you. It's the weekend, man. Kevin Nash, of course, absolutely. Tater says, it is the same team, Ryan. I don't know what you're referring to. Or Robert says this, it damages your organs, including your heart, bone loss, muscle loss, causes blindness, and paralyzes your stomach. The company that developed Ozempic is from the Netherlands. It is illegal there. It sounds European.
No, it's legal there. Quick Google search.
You looked that up, huh?
Yeah.
But yet our screens still get messed up. Okay, let me move on.
There
has to be a way to not have this one. All right, let me move on. Razor Ramon, absolutely. Razor Ramon was a beast. The Rock, absolutely. I absolutely love The Rock. As a matter of fact, I used to go up to the wrestling events, Mike, and I would buy really good tickets and get right in the front row. And it was crazy because the wrestlers, their bodies look fake.
Yeah.
Their bodies were so amazingly built. These people look fake to me.
Yeah.
I remember Rock getting up on the turnbuckle and holding the belt up, bro. Everything didn't look real. I thought I was looking at it. It was just crazy. Like when you look at a pair of fake breasts and you know they're not real, that was the feeling. You're looking at these people thinking, my God, what's actually real on this person? I used to be really, really, really into wrestling back in the day. The Rock eats baby. Shake my head. Jamal says, "Here you go." Jack and Jerry Briscoe. The Briscoe, yes, absolutely. Christmas. The Divas look way better than they did in the 70s and 80s. I couldn't agree more. These Divas are amazing now, and they can even wrestle. So it's a double win. Tyrone says, "Let me guess, you got beat up by the vampire in the alley too." Gangrel beat him up. I seen Gangrel get fired once. I did. I don't want to go into it. I want to kind of get moving on, but I did. I seen him get fired. We went and we used to stand up above where they parked their cars at the old Civic Arena. Gangrel goes in. You see him standing down right there in the entry, talking to somebody, gets back in his car, leaves, and I read later that day on the site that he got fired, like for real in real life. I literally seen him getting fired in real life.
Wow.
Yeah, is that wild or what? A couple more here, and we are going to get ready to wrap it up. Let's go to Jamal. He says, "You ain't seen or heard anything about the Epstein file." I do, and I know you're talking to Ty, but man, what a mess that is. And I don't even know everything is just crazy right now. I don't know what to think about all that. Tyrone says, "Randy, John, Undertaker, my favorite. John Cena raps better than he wrestles." Freak, I knew Ryan wasn't going to let the effed up screen go. He would be over there bitching to his mom about it over meatloaf today.
Mom, a meatloaf.
Mom, while she's watching my laundry and eating my meatloaf. Steel Loyal says Tater's one is the one who jumped Skylar Thompson in Ireland. Maybe. That's actually making it all come together, to be honest with you. That's crazy for sure. I'm going to grab Robert, Mike, and I am going to toss it over to you. Back to football, but don't want people to be being injured. I'm a fat guy that loves carbs, especially my beer, but you have to change your diet at least some of the time watching the Steelers with beer for sure. Christophus, Shabbat is coming, fellas. May King Yeshua's love rest over you all. Mike, let me throw it over to you. I'm going to pitch it to you. A lateral, so it's legal. Mike, back to you. Why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The 2dumyinzers.com. Everybody check it out. We got all of our links to all of our social media over there. We got my dumb thoughts. We got articles from our draft team of Chop and RB. Check it out at the 2dumyinzers.com.
Jamal says smoke more weed, damn straight every day. And then Vega says is Cena has a record for Make-A-Wish visits with over 600.
Yeah, he is like the most all time.
You know what? I gotta give it to the wrestlers. They certainly do good things for the community and stuff. I gotta give them that. I do want to say this. Do go check out the website, everybody. A lot of cool things over there. Mike's been doing a lot of work on it. He has updated it entirely. Also, lots of cool articles from the new draft team, Mike, who we're introducing next week. I know I said that last week, but the way things played out, the flu bug has been going around, and we are going to have everybody involved next week. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to get into the draft talk, Mike, as free agency frenzy is coming to an end this week of all the free agency stuff. Mike, 4:00 here, another 57 minutes. If it hasn't happened yet, we should know what's going to go on with J-Ram. So much more. Mike making a lot of good moves. I think we lost some people, but we gained some people as well on this team. And I got to be honest, I'm happy with what's gone on so far in this free agent season. It's seems to be fitting us quite well. And again, the draft just 41 days away. It's on like Donkey Kong, everybody. Also, you know what? I screwed up a little bit because I gave the answer away, and Mike even read it for a question that we were talking about. But the trivia question that I did have, I'm still going to ask it. So let's see, not only if you know it, but how well you paid attention to the question, guys. Here is the question of the day. Here we go. Patrick Queen led the Steelers in missed tackles in 2025. How many missed tackles did he have? This was my Mike. This was my way of being lazy because that was my question yesterday, which I didn't get to ask. So I just figured I'd use it today. And then in conversation, it came up. So I needed to use the news as the information as ammunition. And then you even read it up and everything. So I'm throwing it out there. The question of the day, in case maybe you missed, maybe this is a test of memory. Maybe you just know. Throw it up on the board, guys. If you do know it, throw it up if it's just a guess. Guys, Patrick Queen led the team in missed tackles in 2025. How many missed tackles did he have that last year? Throw your guesses. Maybe you know. Throw it all up on the board. We'll see who gets it. Mike, we're live. We're live 5 days a week, right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. This 2:30 p.m. every day, and as of late, a little bit later. Right here on the tube.
On tube.
Let's go to look at what's going on the board, Mike. I see some different answers. 31 is what Tortilla is saying. Tyrone is saying 31. Jamal's saying 33. Did you say it earlier? Steeler Freak 69. Also, Jamal says, I'm high, man. Ty says, okay, that because I want him off my team. Okay, gotcha. Jamal says 31 to 33 was in there somewhere. 240 missed tackles, of course. Tater on the tube, Somber. Steel Loyal says we've been talked about that. Jamal, you high, man. Steel Loyal said mentioned the Brisker signing. Laughed my ass off. Guys, question of the day. Patrick Queen did, in fact, lead the Steelers in missed tackles in 2025. How many missed tackles did he have? And it seems like a lot. But you know what? For a guy that plays play in, play out on defense all the time, I don't know. Is that? I guess it's a lot. Because, yeah. All right. Mike, what's your thought process?
I'm trying to remember what the answer is for when I looked at it already. I know he led the league. I know it was very high. My God, I'm gonna go with 32.
32. And you know what's funny about that? When you said it, that wasn't the number that I had, but the number that I had. All right, give me a minute. Let some other people pull up. And also look it up again because, again, it's one number off of what I had.
Okay.
But go ahead and check that out. Just double check it for us.
Yeah.
Let me go right here. Let me grab a few more messages, Mike, and we are going to get this answer out there. Steel Loyal, we've been talked about that. Got you on that. Vegas says, look at Kathy Bates, Whoopi, Sharon Osbourne, Rosie O'Donnell, Megan Trainor to see examples of the Ozempic neck. And then not only Sharon, what's up with Kelly Osbourne's face? My God. She's grotesque. It doesn't even look like Kelly Osbourne at all. She might be on that shit too. Jamal says, laugh my ass off. I'm at work, so I have to mute sometimes. Tyrone says, I'm off but driving. I'm listening. Peace. Love you guys. Great show. Thank you, my man. As always, stay safe on the road, sir. And always great talking to Tyrone. Have a great weekend, bro. Steeler Nation, this is in this bitch. Ty, that's my man. Also, Christopher says too many to keep him on the roster. Sorry, Vegas, Oprah, Tori Spelling, and Vanessa Williams too. Georgianne, how you doing? She says hi, Mike and Ryan. Always great seeing Georgianne. She says hello to everybody.
Hello,
Steeler
hello.
Freak says I thought it was in the 50s. Guys, the question of the day is Patrick Queen led the Steelers in missed tackles in 2025. How many missed tackles did he have? The answer, guys, at least that I have, is 31. Mike had said 32. When I looked it up, and a few of the guys said 31. So 31 to 32. What did you find when you looked it up, Mike?
I want to this from our boys at PFF. Their advanced stat.
You know we don't use them as reference. Why are you looking at theirs?
Oh my God, I can't win with you.
No, you can, but you obviously known for 4 years we don't use them as reference. 5 years, but all right. What did PFF say?
They said 32.
All right. Well, now let me look it up, and let's see what the real answer is. And this is where you talk for a moment, and I'll get in here.
Okay, so I got it from AI Overview with some reports saying 31 missed tackles.
How many? Look, this is gonna be real simple. I'm gonna say how many missed tackles did Patrick Queen have in 2025? Bam. And it says right here at the top, it even says according to PFF data, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Patrick Queen has had 31 missed tackles. Mike, what the hell is your pet?
Oh, I am so sorry. He had one in the wild card game. and it made it 30.
Also, now you're gonna mention that fact. Okay.
I just now noticed it because I was wondering.
Now you mentioned that fact. That would have been a fact that would have been nice to know early. That would have been a fact to know. Nice to know early.
I thought we were counting every game he played last year. I didn't realize this is a regular season. I forgot the playoffs don't count here.
Well, Mike, everybody doesn't play in the playoffs, so you can't include those in this conversation. Obviously, if 32 teams played in the playoffs, then that would be acceptable.
My bad. You were right. Everyone was right. I was wrong.
Thank you.
I'm just saying what he did for an entire year on the Steelers.
I know what you did. You did what you said was wrong. Let me move on though. Vegas says this. What the fuck did Kelly do to her? Dude, she looks like something and I don't know what I know what I think she looks like, Mike. It's maybe Star Wars something. There's something that she looks like right now, and it's not good. It is not good. What the fuck is she thinking? Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says people need to stop with these facial reconstructions. The doctors clearly have not figured it out yet. Jamal, you were right. Correct. Great job. Vegas, 21.2 missed tackle rate. Damn. Jamal says that's crazy. And lady, get PF the fuck out of here. Crazy and lazy, he says. Get him out of town. John says I'm on the rag today.
You need to get your gummies and your Terry Bongshaw out.
Yeah. Maybe Jamal will come up this weekend. If he didn't have to come from Texas, I think we would have already hung up. I got to be honest with you. Guys, let's get ready to start wrapping things up here as we usually do around this time. Mike, I do want to say these few things. I want to say there's a lot of football that went down this weekend, Mike, and it was none of it on the football field, Mike. All this free agency talk in just 41 days away from the NFL draft. You got to be feeling it. Sometimes you want to just sit down at the end of a Friday and take the edge off. Stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, Mike. It is now available at Giant Eagle in 6-packs and 12-packs. You could also stop and get it in cases wherever it is sold. Mike, the Duquesne Pilsner people have been great to us. They are always great to us through promotions. We couldn't thank them and appreciate them more. So we are just spreading the word. Go out and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. If maybe you don't drink, swing by any of their social media and hit the follow. Show them some love. They'll certainly appreciate that, Mike. We always have Duquesne Pilsner here at the studio on tap, and it's made right here in Pittsburgh. And it says right on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Also, go check out our social media, Mike. We're everywhere. If you want to keep up with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis, you could follow us at Facebook, X formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Mike, and if they haven't had a chance yet, everybody do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, sub, share, even a comment. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Grab a couple more messages, Mike, as we started to inch our way toward the door, if you will. I'm going to grab a couple more messages here. Robert said it is now legal, but some only allow for the type 2 diabetes to be covered by government insurance. Ozempic or some other GL1 drug is what happened to Osborne. Gotcha. She looks terrible. I mean, what are these? She can't possibly be trying to make herself look good or think that she looks good. She looks horrible. She doesn't look human. All right, let me go on. Vegas says clap. Golf clap for Jamal. PQ Chang's Tortilla says. Jamal says everything on me. You ever make it down? Dude, I got you, man. It'll be awesome. Vegas says who decided 6 or 12 was the right amount of beer to sell? That's a good question as well. And Ty says 24 best in the game. He says that is the GOAT, but Ty is wrong because Ty is the GOAT at the end of the day. Mike, what's your thoughts on this week overall? Free agent frenzy all week long. Monday, tampering. Wednesday, free agency. Friday, we did it all. We've seen it all. We brought guys in. We lost guys. What's your overall take of the week, Mike, for free agency?
Hell of a start to the offseason. My God, you fill a major hole in wide receiver 2. My God, you totally upgrade that secondary. Now you have 2 corners that can play press man on the outside. You got versatility in the safety position now with bringing in Savage to be a backup and bringing in Jaquan Brisker today. Great moves all around. Bringing back Bill Burt, to kick for us. I like what we're doing. This is a good start to free agency, good start to leading up to the draft. Still a lot to do, but you can't get it all done in 3 days, 4 days. So, it's a really good start. I like what we're doing. We didn't lose anyone that makes you go, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" This guy left the building. Hey, Kenny Gainwell left. Boom, replace him immediately with Rico Dwaddle. It's great moves, man. This team is building and building. I'm loving it. I think we're gonna have a good year this year, no matter who's quarterback. I don't think we're a Super Bowl contender, but I think we are moving towards that for the next, in 2 years now. I think if we can get a quarterback in 2 years now, I think we'll be knocking on the door to AFC Championship games.
I like it. I like it, everybody. John says Ozzy abused himself with drugs. It's in her DNA. Absolutely. And Jack, I think Jack's doing okay. But I know that the daughter, Kelly's looking really bad. But I couldn't agree more with you, Mike. It was very exciting. A lot of people, again, Bill Burr, Johnston, I'm sorry, bringing him back at punter. It slipped my mind, but again, I like this as well. So a lot of things that were happening over this week, guys, it's certainly going to benefit this team. And I agree, Mike. I do think, if I've said it since day one, I think we are going to land on our feet. And I think we're going to be fine. And again, if we could do as good as we did last year or better with a 10-7 and qualify for the playoffs, I think you kind of have to be happy with that. And then if you could do a little bit better than that, you got to say to yourself that this has kind of been a success this offseason, Mike, because at the end of the day, moving forward is what we need. I mean, getting 11 wins would be great. Getting 12 wins would be super. Winning that first game in the playoffs would get us over that hump that it's more of what is it, like a monkey on your back, a chip on your shoulder. That's more that than anything. I think just getting through that initial hurdle, and then beyond that, Mike, you could then be free and not worry about anything else, and you could just play football. And Tater Tart laughing at the championship games because his team actually has never been in one. So Tater Tart finds that amusing, as the Steelers have been in many, and they won more Super Bowls than anybody. Let's go to grab a couple more messages. Robert said Pilsners are awesome. Today is a day 31 of 120 of no beer. I do this most years. No bread, no chips, cookies, crackers, sugar, etc., etc., etc. Works great to drop the pounds, but put weight easy on. If I eat carbs, maybe during Steelers season as well, when you need those beers, Roberts might when that might happen. Jamal shaking my head. I think that is everything, Mike. It is the end. It is the end of free agency frenzy week right here on the Two Dum Yinzers. I got to be honest. I'm thrilled with the way this week went. So many people, so many new faces, so much feedback, guys. We appreciate everything. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today and this week overall, guys. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You always keep this show interesting, guys. And again, you are the lifeblood of this show. I always say that. I always mean that. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. You roll. And I do want to say, if you're at home, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at the gym, wherever you may be, and you're listening or watching, thank you too. We truly appreciate all you guys. You certainly do rock our world. And again, if we could just do a fraction of that back for you, then we feel that we've done our job. So thank you so much, guys. You were amazing this week. It's the off season, and again, it was like we didn't skip a beat with anything and everything. The feedback, the just everything, Mike, was super this week. The energy was super, and we can't be more thankful. So thank you, guys. Big pat on the back. And you know what the hell, game balls to everybody. Mike, game balls to everybody. Somber, you get one. Jamal, you get one. Steeler Freak, you get one. Robert, you get one. And even you get one. Game balls to everybody, guys. You were awesome. Thank you so much. Mike, anything before we get Jamal, thank you, brother. Jamal with the super chat on the board. Gang, my friend. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated, my friend.
Best.
Mike, I'm going to turn it back to you. Any finishing thoughts, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Great week, everyone. You guys were awesome hanging out with us Monday through Friday during the entire free agent frenzy, man. Let's keep going. You guys are the best part of the day. Steelers, like I said, man, they are building towards something special within the next year or two, and I'm loving it. Don't miss a day of it here. the two Dum Yinzers.
Absolutely, guys. You are awesome. I can't say it enough. I truly can't say it enough. We're looking forward to getting back at it next on Monday. Again, we're going to have the draft crew on board next week. It's going to be fun to introduce the guys. Also, Mike, just 41 days. It'll be in the 30s when we come back on Monday to the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh. Again, guys, we want to thank you. The engagement was awesome. Everything just was, it was great. It was a great week for the show. And again, it's because of every one of you. It's because of you guys. Thank you so much. Mike, last time, speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, guys, I want to say thank you one more time. We'll be back at our regular time on Monday to do it all over again in this busy off season. And it's, you know what? I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a blast. And again, only 41 days from the Super Bowl. Jamal says, hit that button, guys. Also, let me try to grab anything else that I might be missing here. Take care, Somber. To you also, my friend John. A playoff win with Rodgers means nothing to me. Progress isn't progress, just pacification. Let me grab the C right here. I don't want to miss anything. All right, gang, tortilla, gang. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Thank you, Jamal, my man. Always, you were great. Thank you to everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you, everybody, at our regular time on Monday. And yes, the answer to the question was it is a 2.5-hour show, but sometimes it will go longer. And every once in a while, it will go shorter, but 2.5 hours is the official time slot of the show. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll see everybody at Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.